Is there going to be corruption in it? Absolutely. 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 Open your eyes. I call it the uniparty. Is there going to be corruption in it? Absolutely. The experts say that there's corruption in these machines? Absolutely. The Democrats, they never asked me for evidence. Why? These computers. Haven't you watched the news? Open your eyes. Get rid of the computers. You're not a conspiracy theorist. Of course you're not. Why? Why don't you ask Fox News? Preach all the time. You're full of crapola. Haven't you watched the news? Do you think I'm spending all my money? I want to save your country. I've spent $40 million. I'm the American dream on steroids. I'm the American dream on steroids. I was an ex-crack addict. I didn't change. Why don't you talk about me? Absolutely. Over and over and over again. This isn't about Donald Trump. Over and over and over again. This isn't about Donald Trump. Over and over and over again. Why don't you talk about me? I've spent every dime I've had in this world. Open your eyes. I want to save your country. If the shoe is on the other foot, open your eyes. You need help. You're not a conspiracy theorist. Of course you're not. That ship sailed. That don't matter. Open your eyes. You know what I preach all the time? The uniparty. Is there going to be corruption in it? Absolutely. 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 Open your eyes. I call it the uniparty. Is there going to be corruption in it? Absolutely. The experts say that there's corruption in these machines? Absolutely. The Democrats, they never asked me for evidence. Why? These computers. Haven't you watched the news? Open your eyes. Get rid of the computers. You're not a conspiracy theorist. Of course you're not. Why? Why don't you ask Fox News? Preach all the time. You're full of crapola. Haven't you watched the news? Do you think I'm spending all my money? I want to save your country. I've spent $40 million. I'm the American dream on steroids. I'm the American dream on steroids. I was an ex-crack addict. I didn't change. Why don't you talk about me? Absolutely. Over and over and over again. This isn't about...
What is up, everybody? How are we doing this morning? 16 hours out from the shooting, maybe about 16 hours. How is everybody feeling today? Last night when I took the live stream off, when I ended the live stream, a lot of people in chat were sad, so I was like, I'll just do one early the next morning, and that's what we're doing. Sunday morning live stream. How's everyone feeling?
So my name is Kevin Rojek. That's R-O-J-E-K. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI Pittsburgh field office. The first thing I want to say is that the FBI stands with the people of Butler County in Western Pennsylvania, and our hearts go out to the victims of this heinous act which occurred today. This is our community, and I want to let the public know that the FBI has deployed a number of our resources, including investigative agents, our evidence response team, bomb technicians, and we have additional resources coming from other field offices, as well as from FBI headquarters, including our evidence response from Quantico, Virginia.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Robert. Love your channel. I apologize for thinking it was a hoax. No, it's fine. There were a lot of emotions yesterday. People didn't know what to believe. During breaking news, it's all just a whirlwind, a tornado. You don't exactly know what to believe. So, yeah, no, there's no worries. As long as you're able to recognize the facts when you see them. I wanted to read you guys a few a few Twitter threads that were really important, I think. One second. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. Give me 1 second. My dad keeps calling me. Okay. So having personally worked several presidential and vice presidential security details, here's some of my thoughts based on the available info of the assassination on Trump. Or attempted assassination on Trump, yeah. One, the Secret Service employ a multi-tiered defense, in-depth approach to protective missions. Okay, my dad's good. He said just checking in. He called me like 4 times in a row. I was like, what? Okay. An inner tier offer. Okay, let's read this thread real quick. So, this is Lieutenant Tim McMillan. He's worked on multiple presidential, vice presidential security details. He lays out the layers of security there are and where the lapse likely happened. So 1, the Secret Service employ a multi-tiered defense, in-depth approach to protective missions. An inner tier offer close protection support, these being the agents you see rushing in and surrounding Trump after the initial shots go off. The people that were close to Trump, the people in those photos, that's his inner tier. That's likely not where the lapse was. A second middle tier is tasked with identifying and defending against mid-range threats like people in the crowd. This tier is largely comprised of local and state law enforcement temporarily attached to the security detail. This is the area that he worked for on prior details. Finally, you have an extend tier, which covers long-distance threats. This can include counter-sniper details and cyber support and CBRN defense. People have wondered, how could the counter snipers in the videos not have seen the would-be assassin prior to him getting off a shot? This is because the area of responsibility for those counter snipers on the roof behind Trump was likely in the extended tier. Essentially, they were scanning for threats a great distances well beyond the roughly 150 meters the threat happened. This is evidenced by the fact that the elevated sniper has to dramatically drop his line of sight to respond to the shooter. You can see that in the video. The sniper that's near Trump has to drop his line of sight, which tells you that they were looking in a way more extended view. Sorry for hitting the mic. By the way, I moved my mic placement so it doesn't make noises anymore. But number 6. Oh, I already read this one. Essentially, they were scanning for threats, great distances well beyond. Yep. Secret Service advanced teams would have absolutely pre-scouted the location and identified the building the shooter used as a vulnerable spot in the defense, which begs the question, how was the guy still able to climb on the roof and get off a shot? Based on limited details at this point, in my opinion, the security breakdown occurred in the middle tier, which would likely include law enforcement who were supposed to be assigned to the area near the outbuilding. So you guys are following what he's saying here, right? He's saying there's 3 tiers of security. The closest one, which are the people that the Secret Service members that were in the shot of Trump, no pun intended, in the picture with Donald Trump. That's his closest tier. There's a second tier that are comprised of local law enforcement officers, and then there's a third tier composed of the snipers, essentially. They're saying that the middle tier was where this broke down. The middle tier full of law enforcement officers, the local Leos, they failed to, number 1, scout out the area. Number 2, make sure they lock down all potential vantage points. And number 3, I think there were reports that they heard people yelling, hey, there's someone on the roof or something like that, and there just wasn't enough time. Okay. How that significant of a breakdown could occur is up for speculation. However, like I said, this tier is largely dependent on local law enforcement and not the Secret Service. So speculatively, the local Leos who were supposed to be in the area and make sure no one with a gun climbed up on the roof effed up. Yep. So that's the assumption right now from somebody with experience. Of course, the story is incomplete. The investigation is still ongoing and it will be for a while, but we can make educated assumptions based off experts. And this guy has worked on multiple campaign security details. People have said that witnesses saw the guy with the gun on the roof, told police, but they failed to... One second. But they failed to respond and prevent the assassination attempt. So how does that happen? Well, there's typically limited lines of communication between the Secret Service and the local Leos working the middle tier. You usually have 1 or 2 local Leo liaisons who have direct communication with the Secret Service, which means communications on the ground. Between local Leos and being told about the shooter are being which means communications on the ground between the local law enforcement officers being told about the shooter are being routed through dispatch to local liaisons, then to the Secret Service. Compounding the difficulty to rapidly respond is the fact that there's always some confusion and inefficiency when multiple different law enforcement officer agencies come together to work a detail. Most of these agencies aren't used to working with each other and aren't given much information beyond a few pre-event briefings. He continues. New video just dropped on my channel just 1 minute ago, by the way, if you want to check it out. It's me talking about this whole thread. Actually, you probably don't have to but go check out the video and leave a like and watch till the end. It does help the videos. Number 16. Number 15. Secret Service, no one had properly communicated. Okay, no. This guy said, I actually saw what can go wrong in these scenarios firsthand when President Bush's Secret Service detail almost engaged in a local police SWAT counter-sniper team during the 2004 G8 summit. No one had properly communicated the local SWAT team's position, so all the Secret Service saw was heavily armed individuals with a line of sight on the president. Hello, Scott Bryant. What's up? So he's talking about in 2004, President Bush's Secret Service almost engaged a local SWAT team because they just saw people with guns. In the same vein, there was likely a delay and some confusion with the initial reports of a person with a gun on the roof, as cops and Secret Service agents would all be trying to confirm the shooter didn't belong to one of the security support teams. Could you imagine what a catastrophe it would have been if, like he said, this almost actually happened in 2004 with President Bush, but if a SWAT member accidentally killed a police officer on accident. So I'm sure if there was a 3-4 second hesitation with the sniper on the roof, he was just trying to figure out, is this somebody who's working with like Leos, or what is this? He says, Lieutenant Tim McMillan also says, I'll also add that I worked 5 presidential details as a local law enforcement officer attachment, even though I was in close proximity for each detail, and only 2 of them did I ever actually see the president or vice president. That was Bush while he was in the limo driving away, and Cheney. But that was because I was in an inner position, feet away from him. You're explicitly trained that your eyes are always on the crowd, surroundings, and potential threats, never on the president themselves. Right Plate said, Dick Cheney says he does not support Trump for president. Yeah, I made a video on that. Dick Cheney says he doesn't support Trump. What does it tell you when all of these Republicans are coming out saying that Trump is against the Constitution? People like Mike Pence, who we all disagree with Mike Pence on every single thing, I assume, but Mike Pence cares about America. I think we can all admit that Mike Pence cares about America. He probably doesn't care about like women or minorities in America, which we can talk about that, but I think the idea that, yeah. So that was a good thread. Melania Trump just made a statement about an hour ago, and it has 100,000 likes already. Obviously she didn't write this, but it's worth reading anyways. It's the former first lady. She says, I'm thinking of you now, my fellow Americans. We have always been a unique union. Okay, already, I'm 1 line in. There is no shot she wrote this. We have always been a unique union. America, the fabric of our gentle nation, is tattered, but our courage and common sense must ascend and bring us back together as one. At least make it believable. The tour to save democracy is not canceled. No, they're still out there. I'm only going out for certain days. I go out for a few days, and then I come back for the show, and then I'll fly out for a few days. I couldn't sacrifice a whole 28 days of not doing the show. That'd be really hard. But when I watched that violent, written by AI or Michelle Obama. Remember when Melania copied a Michelle Obama speech verbatim, word for word? When I watched that violent bullet strike my husband, Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of devastating change. I am grateful to the brave Secret Service agents and law enforcement officials who risked their lives to protect my husband. To the families of the innocent victims who are now suffering from this heinous act, I humbly offer my sincerest sympathy. Your need to summon your inner strength for such a terrible reason saddens me. At least make it believable. I literally read the first line. I said, we've always been a unique union. And immediately that was a tell. Melania did not write this. Melania wrote this. A monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine attempted to wring out Donald's passion, his laughter, ingenuity, love of music, and inspiration. Donald Trump barely laughs. Yeah, honestly, this message is not bad. As much as we hate Melania and we rag on Melania, what we want right now is a message of unity. Like, the last thing that we want is Donald Trump Jr., Melania all being like, oh, this is war or whatever. And it just feels like, yeah, love of music. I doubt Donald Trump loves music. Donald Trump is so joyless. Love of music. His passion for, his love of giving to charity, of saving cats in trees and helping old women cross the street. That was almost taken away from us. Trump saved 3 people in a fire last week. Donald, the generous and caring man who I have been with through the best of times and the worst of times. Yeah, his love of minorities. Yeah, come on, Melania, no shot. Let us not forget that differing opinions, policy, and political games are inferior to love. Our personal, structural, and life commitment until death is at serious risk. Political concepts are simple when compared to us human beings. I mean, it's a decent message. I mean, if we're going to be charitable, you want a message of unity. I hate Melania, and she didn't write this, but like the message, the substance in here is not terrible. We are humans, and fundamentally, instinctively, we want to help one another. American politics are only one vehicle that can uplift our communities. Yeah, this was a terrible day for yeah, terrible day for America. Kind of, what is going on in this? Sorry for the bots. Oh wow, what's this? 5 months ago, Alex Jones and InfoWars guest Ivan Raiklin discussed how assassinating Trump would be beneficial, according to them, because it would lead to retaliatory, in-kind assassinations of a deep state list, which includes President Biden.
To every...
Yeah, I can mod you, right, Plate? I see you in here a lot, so I trust you. Just don't be... I modded someone else and they started getting in fights with people, so don't do that.
Every single person on the deep state target list. My assessment, Ivan Raiklin's assessment, that if you assassinate any political presidential candidate, whether it's RFK, whether it's Trump, guess what? America will do the following immediately. They will respond in kind, and they know who you are because we've created the list. So if you go
and that's
to
a
those
major
measures,
Rubicon. They should know that.
Immediately. You're going to see immediate response, and there are only a few buildings in Washington, D.C. that they will probably do that.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but these people are crazy.
And having said that, if they do that, option 2 behind Trump is going to be so much better for us and so much worse.
Well, I was about to
for them.
say, if they kill him, that's best case scenario from a sick level.
Grim said, rest in peace. My friend's uncle Corey was in the crowd. I'm sorry if that's...
From a sick level beating him, oh, please kill him, which I mean, but it's so good after that.
Oh, it's going to be
Dire Prep. What? You're such a troll. When did I say that anyone who has a different opinion needs silence?
the best cleansing and the fastest cleansing that we've ever seen in my lifetime. I assess.
These people are crazy. This is Alex Jones on his show. Ivan says, if they assassinate Trump, option 2 behind Trump is going to be so much better for us and so much worse for them. Alex Jones then says, I was about to say, if they kill him, that's best case scenario from a sick level, from a sick medium. Yeah, Alex Jones is wild. He definitely does need help. And that's why he was scaring me yesterday, seeing a lot of MAGA sycophants essentially, or no, sorry, not MAGA sycophants, seeing people on our side acting like the QAnon MAGA sycophants and saying like, oh, this is completely fake and rigged. It just, that really was striking a chord with me yesterday. Here's how Trump responded to Nancy Pelosi being targeted in an assassination attempt and her husband being beaten nearly to death with a hammer. Political violence has no place in a democratic society. We must always condemn it. Remember, this was Donald Trump less than a year ago, I'd like to say, less than a year ago, talking about Nancy Pelosi's husband.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house. which obviously didn't do a very good job.
A terrible talking point. An absolutely terrible talking point. Oh, 1 second. My screen froze. Give me 1 second. One second. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. My screen completely froze, so I just had to redo that. What's up? Okay. Here's how Trump responded to Nancy Pelosi. This is wild to me. He said, "How's her husband doing, by the way?" And then, this is the most annoying part. This is the most annoying part. You guys know the phrase cry bully? When you're constantly being a bully, you're being rude, you're inciting people, and then the one time you actually get punched back, you cry about it. Like Russia. Let's take Vladimir Putin, for example. Vladimir Putin thinks it's okay to annex neighboring territory, and then right when Ukraine starts to shoot rockets back over into Russia, he starts crying and saying, "Oh, we need to be anti-war." That is what this reminds me of. Donald Trump has repeatedly incited violence by talking about Nancy Pelosi's husband in disgusting ways, and then once that violence hits an apex, essentially, people are, yeah.
How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thread right here. Okay. So this thread started with an ABC thing. This is George Stephanopoulos. Unreal. This is a MAGA supporter, by the way. We're debunking this MAGA supporter. They said, "Unreal. It took less than 24 hours for ABC to start blaming Trump for last night." Which I agree. I agree that with what they're saying in this clip. Watch.
Trump and his supporters have
Yeah, we'll cover the shooter being Republican in 1 second.
as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He warned last March of potential death and destruction if he were charged by the Manhattan District Attorney. Our country is being destroyed as they tell us to be peaceful. Trump in January warned of bedlam in the country if the criminal charges against him succeeded. And of course, in March, he said, "Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be
You guys can hear that, right?
For the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it." He said he was partly joking and that was taken out of context. But those are indeed his words. And you have heard it from supporters as well. And supporters are certainly, in some parts, angry.
It's really quiet.
And
It's really
let's
quiet.
Remember January 6th. And so
My text chimes. I didn't hear my text chimes. Let me go on DND. Okay, so really quickly, this thread is really interesting. Basically, this Trump supporter says, "Unreal. It took less than 24 hours for ABC to start blaming Trump for last night." And what ABC is essentially pointing out is that President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric. Basically, what I was saying, that when you ratchet up the tensions in the country by constantly using apocalyptic rhetoric, then of course the tensions are going to be ratcheted up to a point where something like this happens. It comes to an apex. Then they talk about January 6th. So Ben Shapiro then responded, "Yes, clearly after an assassination attempt against Trump, the problem of heated rhetoric is all about Trump's rhetoric. You pathetic, sad sack, ass clown." So obviously he is heated, but he is wrong. He is wrong. It's absolutely about Trump's rhetoric. Then political commentator Destiny said, "When the guy you supported openly and unabashedly tried to overthrow the government and then begged the Supreme Court for criminal immunity so he could become a king above the law and avoid all accountability for his actions, it's hard to have the moral high ground on any kind of response. This is the world conservatives have built, and now the rest of us have to live in it." Absolutely true. 100% true. Yeah, join the Discord and chat. Discord and subreddit will be in chat. Absolutely true. I love this first line. When the guy you support openly and unabashedly tried to overthrow the government and then beg the Supreme Court for criminal immunity so he could become a king above the law and avoid all accountability for his actions, it's hard to have the moral high ground. Yeah, I agree with that. Good take. Common Destiny W. He was being kind of unhinged last night. He was saying some crazy stuff on here last night. I can't really scroll through Twitter like I was yesterday because there's like pictures of dead people all over my feed, the shooter all over my feed. But he said, Destiny said, I want to profusely apologize to any Trump supporters in my audience that I've misled into thinking I view them as anything beyond the unpatriotic, treacherous, anti-American scum that they are. Doing my best to rectify that ASAP. All right, that's pretty good. He's going hard right now. I want to profusely apologize to any MAGA in my audience that I've misled into thinking I view them as anything beyond the unpatriotic, treacherous, anti-American scum. What's up, Fat Cat? Paul Pelosi had his head beaten in by an assailant with a hammer. Trump's response was to make fun of him. Hopefully, he will now understand that was wrong. He should be removed from Congress immediately. Mike Collins. Yeah. Oh my God. This one's crazy. Who said something like this? If I've offended anyone with my recent tweets, I'd like to make things right. DM me and I'll buy you front row seats to the next Trump rally. Chill out, yo. Oh my God. Chill out. There should be a... Yeah. It's funny. This one is good. This one is really good right here. Someone said in the chat, these posts need to be removed. Oh, you haven't been on Twitter then. There's a lot of stuff on Twitter that's like just awful. This one's good. 2016, F your feelings. 2017, you lost, get over it. 2018, drinking your liberal tears. 4 more years, bitches. Stop the count. 2021, water the tree of liberty. Burn groomer books. 2023, where's Nancy Pelosi? Where's Nancy? 2024, I am horrified by political violence. I don't know how we got to this point. I couldn't have ever seen this coming. The radical left is really ratcheting up the tensions in this country. How did we even get here? Come the hell on. Come the hell on. You saw Donald Trump making fun of Nancy Pelosi. I thought that was a good one. Mike Collins said, Joe Biden sent the orders. Destiny said, excuse me, sir, but if he did, he would enjoy absolute criminal immunity for his acts as commander-in-chief. Thank you. I asked you guys last night if I should tweet something about that, and everyone was like, no. No tweets about Joe Biden's immunity. Someone said Senate Dems should take one of their assorted gun control bills off the shelf, rename it to something like, quote, Trump Assassination Prevention Act, and force ours to do a talking filibuster to block it. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Even though MAGA would be able to justify it, they'd be doing mental gymnastics saying, oh, it's a trick, they stuff stuff in the bill, but that's pretty good. Take a gun control bill, rename it, and force ours to talk publicly about why they shouldn't. Why they shouldn't. If they allow it, they would never allow that on the floor. Yeah. Harry Littman said, another detail about Crooks. Crooks is a shooter, by the way. We'll read about the shooter more in a second. Another detail about Crooks that contrasts with the quiet, mediocre, nondescript figure of shootings past. He won a $500 award from the high school district for achievement in math and science when he graduated. So far, the details most consistent with mentally ill lone wolf. And that's what I've heard as well. Mentally ill lone wolf seems to be what it was. Ron Filipkowski. Matt Walsh said, why is the female agent ducking her head and exposing Trump? Come on. I'm trying to figure out from the Republican narrative if it's Biden's fault, Antifa's fault, God's plan, or just the women in the workforce. Yeah, good one. Ruben Gallego also put out a pretty good statement. Ruben Gallego, where did it go? Here we go. Ruben Gallego said, "Dear Director Cheadle, I write regarding the assassination attempt of President and presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. As you are aware, it is a sworn duty of the Secret Service to protect former presidents and major presidential candidates. Yesterday's incident, which led to the tragic death of an onlooker and several injuries, including to President Trump, raises grave concerns regarding the security measures, or lack thereof, that were taken to protect a former president of the United States and major presidential candidate." And a lot of the questions that Gallego raises here are actually pretty good, are pretty valid. As an American veteran and public servant to the greatest democracy in the history of the world, I would demand answers to the following questions. 1. Did the Trump campaign request additional protection or resources for this event? If so, were those resources denied, and why? I'm not sure if they did, I'm not sure if they didn't, but that is worth investigating. Did the Secret Service detail, separate from President Trump's campaign team, request additional resources? Who approved the security plan for this event? Was a proper threat assessment of nearby buildings conducted? And an interesting insight that I was putting together last night after it happened is, so I've been to a lot of MAGA rallies. You guys know this. I post videos of my MAGA rallies all the time. And what happens with these rallies is Donald Trump will often schedule them 3, 4, 5 days in advance. So this Pennsylvania rally, I don't think I saw it on his website until last Sunday. So let's just say, for example, the Secret Service only had 7 days to secure the perimeter. That also kind of explains how there could have been such a massive lapse in that middle tier that we were talking about earlier. The middle tier of security, the law enforcement law enforcement officers that are local are supposed to lock down these buildings, find out all of the vantage points that people could use. But if there were only 7 days, if they only had 7 days to secure the perimeter, I could see why that would help. Ruben Gallego continues, "Did the attendees of the event ever raise any alarms? If so, how were any concerns handled before the attempted assassination? Were there any failures in protocol that enabled the shooting? If not, how is President Trump, one of only 6 living current or former presidents and a current major presidential candidate, almost assassinated, and what needs change?" asks Representative Ruben Gallego. I'm pretty sure CNN had a new report recently. Ex-Secret Service agent speaks with Wolf Blitzer.
For the viewer, this is extremely shocking, right? Like, we don't see this level of attack towards any of our political leaders, or in this case, the former president. But for the Secret Service, you have to understand that this is something that they practice thousands and thousands of hours for, this exact moment. As we saw, everything was textbook in the way that they reacted. They actioned off of the sound of a threat. In this case, what they perceived was some sort of gunfire, coming from what is believed to be the right of the former president. If you looked at the moment that you heard that the instant sound of what was believed to be gunfire, those Secret Service agents rushed in and did exactly what they are trained to do, which is to put maximum attention to the protectee. And
Interesting. So a reporter just posted, Megan Schiller, anchor at CBS News, a local CBS News station, says, "We are hearing from the first classmate of Thomas Crooks. His Bethel Park classmate described him as a loner who was bullied relentlessly and wore hunting outfits in class." Yep, that also supports the theory that this is a lone wolf type dude. New. These photos show the gunman in a classroom in high school and on the school bus, provided to me from the classmate in my previous tweet. These photos are 2022 and pre-2022 at Bethel Park High School. A lone wolf gunman. So this dude was just, we don't fully know his motivations. Because it's been reported that he was registered a Republican. He was bullied and wore hunting outfits, but then the automatic assumption you make when you hear that there was an assassination attempt on a president is that it was somebody who politically hates him, a far left person, or probably not a liberal, but like some far left person who got violent. That's like the automatic jump that you make, right? But the idea that it was a registered Republican, I can't tell what it was. This kid just... Was this another John Hinckley Jr. case? Remember, John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate President Reagan over Jodie Foster. Wasn't it Jodie Foster? Yeah, he's a registered Republican. Let's find the article. There's a video about this on my channel. I guess I'll catch you guys up. Law enforcement authorities have identified the man who made an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. A friend of yours literally thinks he's a Hamas plant. Yeah, the conspiracy theorists are eating today. On both sides, the conspiracy theorists are loving this. I honestly was expecting better from our side, but I saw some tweets on X, or some X's, whatever, what are they called? It had like 80,000 likes, and it was like, I'm just going to say it, guys, this was all staged. And it's like, come on. Adam Mockler doesn't know what cross voters are. Anyone remember Nikki Haley? Crooks used a semi-automatic rifle, 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials said, based on what was found at the scene. Bethel Park is a predominantly white, relatively well-to-do city in the southern reaches of greater Pittsburgh. The site of the rally, Butler, is about an hour's drive north of Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania voter records listed a Thomas Matthew Crooks with the same address and birth date as a registered Republican, though it was not clear from the records when that was put in place. At a news conference on Saturday night, law enforcement said the investigation was close to making a positive identification of the shooter, who did not have identification on him, State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens said. The shooter has been tentatively identified, he said. It's a matter of doing biometric confirmations. Really interesting to me that he was a registered Republican. I don't know how that works.
We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done. Right now, we need the public's help. Anyone who was on scene, who saw anything, who identified any information, please report that to the FBI using either the phone number 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at FBI.
There's some interesting graphics online too. There are some interesting graphics. Mighty said, aren't AR-15s incredibly inaccurate at a distance? Depends on who's using them, but yeah, for this guy, it seems like it was. There are some really interesting graphics of the, what's it called? Of the the layout of everything. So here's the shooter. It's really interesting. I wish I could flip this around somehow. I wish I could rotate this. So this is Trump speaking. Here's a crowd in front of him. The Secret Service were on the roof right here. The shooter climbs up on the roof over here. I agree, Hoot Johnson. Probably just a kid with a gun who had mental health issues. So the shooter, the angle is really interesting, and that's why you can see it whizzes by his ear. Like, we were so close to having a video. We were so close to having a video of Donald Trump just dying in front of a crowd, which I would never want. I would never in my life want that. I think that would be terrible for America, for the atmosphere of America. Trump has a family. Why would we want that? But that would be insane history. That would be insane history right there. If we had that, yeah. Like, we were very close to having that as the outcome, and we would be having a way different conversation today. We would be having an incredibly different conversation today. Thank you, Sarlux. Please wait for the facts, Adam. I'm only reading the facts. I'm only reading Axios. I'm only reading MSNBC. Trust me, yesterday, everyone in my chat was pressuring me to say that it was staged, pressuring me to say that there were blood capsules, pressuring me to, not pressuring me, that's loaded language, but they were all like, Adam, come on, you know it was staged. And I said, no, we're sticking with the facts. People were telling me that they found the shooter like hours before they actually did. And I said, no, we're not going to report this until it's, no, I don't think it was staged. No. The Vincent Van Gogh and Star Wars memes. Yeah, Trump's like missing part of his ear now and people are making Vincent Van Gogh memes. Don't take your mind off Project 2025. I do say we will do Project 2025 research today. We will do Project 2025 research today. That Opal guy made a good point. He said mental health issues and guns, which I think should be one of the major takeaways from this. You're right, Tyler Harris. You're right. It's kind of just blue and on. It kind of shows you that like there are people on the left that mirror the rhetoric of the people on the right. But the Opal guy made a good point earlier. He's like, one of the good takeaways should be that why was this mentally ill person able to get a high-powered rifle? Maybe Republicans should be thinking about this. Zoom out. Let's read part of this Axios article. They do a good job. FBI calls shooting at Trump rally an attempted assassination. Trump confirmed in a Truth Social post he was shot with a bullet that pierced his upper right ear. Trump pumped his fist as he was leaving. This was last updated 10 hours ago, so this might not have much new information. Thank you, C. Collins. Adam, you have been level-headed. I'm glad you didn't send the tweet about Biden using his new powers. We need to stay classy to the other side. Yeah, that was just kind of a joke for the street. I thought it would be funny to type that up, but I'm not a fan of making inflammatory tweets. That's never really been my style. Let me show you guys this. There's a bunch of different charts that I've been seeing. U.S. Secret Service said the alleged assailant fired multiple shots toward the stage at a Donald Trump campaign rally in Butler. Here's the stage. Here's the bleachers. Secret Service was right here where my mouse is. Right here where my mouse is. The location of the gunman who climbed up the roof right here. It's wild to me that he was that close. It hit Trump's ear. Like if you believe in the theory of alternate universe where there's alternate realities, like an infinite amount or even a finite amount, then there are many, many alternate realities where we are having an incredibly different conversation today. Vanessa Jazz, thank you for the donation. Why would Republicans blame gun laws when they can blame liberals? That's a good point. Yeah. What the hell? Brett Micella said, registered Republican shoots Republican presidential candidate. Politico. Will this hasten calls from Democrats for Biden to drop out of the race? What's less clear is whether the shooting hastens Democratic calls for Biden to withdraw from the race. Yeah, the media is having the wrong takeaways. Meta said, can we talk about the political implications? Oh, I was talking about the political implications from the second it happened. How does this affect the results of this election? Will this get him more votes? We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure if this will get him more votes. Like, we can't say anything for sure. So I'm just going to cushion it with that. But I would guess that there will be a rallying effect. When I opened Instagram yesterday, I follow mostly liberals, but when I opened Instagram and I scrolled through the stories, everyone I went to high school with was posting that photo of Trump with his fist in the air, even people that don't pay attention to politics. One of my friends that doesn't pay attention to politics posted it with the American flag, and I was like, yikes, yikes. He doesn't know about the Brad Raffensperger phone call, my old friend from high school. He doesn't know about any of he hasn't dug into January 6th. He's too busy working every day, but when I saw people basically rallying around Trump, I knew that we might be in trouble. Brennan Ziegler said, people on the left are already making premature predictions that Trump has already won. I think Biden can and will still win. Yeah, we're not saying with absolute certainty that anything is set in stone. We're not saying we lost the election, but I think if we're going to be objective, this could have a rallying effect where it excites his base. Yeah, it's not like there's going to be someone that was going to vote for Biden. They're like, oh, I'm going to switch to Trump now. That's not what we're saying. I just think that to a lot of American citizens who, number one, already have this preconception that President Biden isn't that exciting, is too old. Then they see Trump pumping his fist and they're like, oh, this guy's a champ. That's what they're going to think. Alyssa, thank you so much for the dono. Algorithms are the greatest threat to our democracy. We have lost a pillar of objective truth, which is what really led to this inflection point. Please call your reps to demand mandatory fact-based debates. www.renew/earth. First of all, thank you for the dono. Secondly, you are absolutely right. I was reading this article the other day about how every village used to have its idiot. There always used to be the village idiots that believed in conspiracy theories, but now with social media and algorithms, all of the village idiots team up to make their own idiot village, if you get what I mean. Heavy on analogy, but that literally is what it feels like. And people get sucked into their own algorithms and it draws. So, for example, oh, 1 second. Chili Billy said, why do you support Biden? One statement. I support Biden because he is historically effective at reaching across to the other side and getting legislation passed during a historically divided time. So when Donald Trump got into office, he said he was going to pick the best people, negotiate the best bills. Biden got into office, he actually did that. He passed the PACT Act, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill. He passed the Inflation Reduction Act. He immediately re-entered us into the Paris Climate Accord. Ridiculous. Chili Billy, can you name me your favorite Trump policy while you're in chat? I'll wait a few minutes if that's what it takes to you. Every single time I ask somebody this, a Trump supporter in particular, they never know the bill. They never know a single Trump bill. I can sit here and list off, I'm not going to do it, I can list off a bunch of Biden legislation. And you're going to sit here, yeah, they'll just Google one and they'll like pull up some random, I'm still waiting. They've literally got nothing. They responding quicker. Build the wall. He didn't build the wall. That's a vacuous catchphrase that doesn't mean anything. I don't want to be the dude that's like flexing or anything, but I feel like I just completely debunked your whole thing. I feel like I completely rolled through all that talking point. I don't want to be that guy, but like, dude, you literally all you had was build the wall after I named 5 different pieces of legislation. Let me come on live. We can. DM me on Instagram and drop your handle in the chat. If you DM me on Instagram. I'd love to talk to somebody who just says, build the wall. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can come on live. DM me on Instagram and drop your name in the chat. Because I can't drop links in chat, or else everyone would join it. But, yeah, and apparently there was a false report that he donated to Act Blue. Somebody said that the Trump supporter donated to Act Blue, but we don't know if that's true or not. Because then somebody said that it was a person with the same name. MAGA has no ground to stand on when it comes to inflammatory political rhetoric, says Natalie Wynn. And is Donald Trump posting, he posted a video a while back, and one of the screenshots of the video is Biden hogtied in the back of the... While the entire situation is horrible, and I do not think we should celebrate the attempt on Trump's life, the dark irony of a Republican Party that has laughed off and encouraged violence for 8 years, now condemning it after it comes after them, speaks for itself. Friend of the stream Jack Cocciarella said, remember the photo that Donald Trump reposted? The MAGA movement has stoked the flames of political violence, and if we were ever going to move forward as a country, we need to defeat them. Who's still voting for Biden? The RNC is coming soon. I don't know. Natalie Winters. Steve Bannon's... I don't know who that is. Alec Baldwin. Interesting. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service. It is ironic, for sure. For sure. One second, let me pull up this feed. What are these articles that are being written? What are these articles? Someone wrote an article that said, today, we're all MAGA. Oh, has my screen been frozen on the right side? What the hell? One second. I've been scrolling Twitter and my screen's been frozen. Give me a sec. Monitor. Okay, that's better. I don't know why that keeps happening. Someone wrote an article saying, today, we're all MAGA. Who's we? What do you mean by we? I don't know. I needed something. One second. Let me tweet this out. I don't even care if someone beat me to it. The media is just clickbaiting the hell. Maybe they wanted to like rile people up. Today, we're all MAGA. No, I don't think we are. Will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? Who wrote this? Sean Harper. Sean Harper, which station? Okay, at least it wasn't a white dude. I thought some white guy wrote this. Some white, like, MAGA supporter. Will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? No, this was a real article, yeah. Kate Andrews is a British journalist? Damn. That guy said, grow up. It was staged. I'm the one that needs to grow up? Alex Jones' show is down the hall to the left, homie. I'm taking a huge risk scrolling through my Twitter feed because yesterday I was scrolling through my Twitter feed and there was like a photo of the dead shooter. I was like, oh no. I scrolled through my Twitter feed and there was like a random meme of, I don't even know. It was just bad. The leader of Gen Z, Baby Gronk. Nobody cares about Baby Gronk. This is the dumbest reason to vote for someone. Everyone should be extremely thankful that Trump is safe, but it doesn't mean we start pretending that his policies won't hurt millions of people or that Project 2025 doesn't exist. Yeah, and we will talk more about Project 2025, which I think is a necessity. I think it's necessary to talk more about that. We're not gonna let that go. But right now, this is still kind of breaking news. Everything's flowing in. We're less than 24 hours out from this happening, so.
Obviously have been impacted by
Bernie
political
Sanders
violence yourself in 2017. That horrible moment when Republican Congressman Steve Scalise was shot at baseball practice. You came out and forcefully denounced what had happened upon learning that the suspected shooter had been a volunteer for your campaign. How does that experience inform how you think the country can move forward right now?
Well, let me also say that a couple of months ago, my office right here in Burlington, Vermont, with 7, I was not there at the moment, but there were 7 staff members there, was almost burned down by somebody who's in jail right now. 7 people could have been burned alive. So yeah, I am familiar with political violence in all its forms. The bottom line is what we need as a nation,
Good
what
statement.
a democracy
Good statement.
is about, is not radical rhetoric. What it is about is a serious discussion of where we are as a nation and how we go forward.
And he's right. And notice immediately how Republicans decided to go with the violent rhetoric. Right away, J.P. Mandel, J.D. Vance said something to the effect of, this is Democrats' fault because of their violent rhetoric surrounding Trump. Everybody was playing the blame game.
Forward. You know, in a certain way, Kristen, politics should be kind of boring.
What's up, Metallica?
You know, our healthcare system is dysfunctional. How do we fix it? Well, it's kind of a boring discussion.
Yeah.
But we need a healthcare system that guarantees healthcare to all people. We have massive income and wealth inequality. Well, maybe a boring discussion. Should 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society? So I think what we have got to see is...
Someone in chat said Bernie or third party. I kind of want Biden to win. I kind of really want Trump to lose. And we're risking a repeat of 2016 when we opt to vote third party. I will be honest. A vote for third party is wasting your vote. You're throwing away your fundamental right as an American. You know how many people died for your right to vote and you're just going to throw it away?
Serious discussion of serious issues.
I'm not going to say, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. I don't mean to vote shame, but I'm just saying in one of the most high stakes political election, you're saying that you align with Bernie Sanders. You're saying that you're like on the left, but then you're going to vote for, you're not going to try to stop the dude who is going to destroy liberalism. Robin, thank you so much for the dono. Adam, I'm so proud of you. Grandma Robin. Thank you, Grandma Robin. I appreciate that. It's been nice having a community with the stream. I appreciate all of you guys for being here. That's not actually my grandma. No, that's not. Great statement from Bernie Sanders. Let's hear this. Let's hear what Lindsey
There's
Graham
a lot
says.
we could say and discuss about political rhetoric. I want to ask you very specifically about some of the responses we've seen and just get your reaction. Senator J.D. Vance, as you know, a potential VP nominee, said in the wake of the shooting, quote, "Today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden..."
That's what I was referencing just a minute ago.
Campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Another Republican Congressman, Mike Collins, said,
When I heard, I was worried it was you, Adam. You thought I was the one that did it? Nah.
quote, "Joe Biden sent the orders." I just want to get...
I told this video yesterday, but I'll tell it again because it's really funny. My grandpa hates Donald Trump. He, like, hates him. We all have someone in our life that just hates him like that. And after the shooting happened, I sent it in the family group chat, and my grandma said, like, to my grandpa's name is Scott. She was like, "Scott, where are you?" I was like, "Are you implying that you think this was him? Why are you immediately asking where?" Is the Mockler's Mafia Adam Discord server? Yep, we have a Discord server and a subreddit. If you guys haven't joined the Adam Mockler subreddit, you really should. It's really fun. It's really fun. There was a thread yesterday with like over 100 comments talking about the assassination, which...
Your take, Senator, because you are...
100 comments isn't like crazy, but for a Reddit thread, that was really good.
We're talking about where this country needs to go. Do you think... And do you have concerns that that type of rhetoric, drawing those conclusions...
Also, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. A lot of people yesterday were saying in chat, oh, I thought I was subscribed to you, but I didn't even hit the button. So click that button, the subscribe button. Yeah, the subreddit
There's
is
a
fun.
lot we could say and discuss
Okay, let's hear what this guy has
about
to say.
Political rhetoric. I want to ask you very
Is he going to drop to his knees and cry for Donald Trump? He's like, my dear leader, sir.
specifically about some of the responses we've seen, and just get your reaction. Senator J.D. Vance, as you know, a potential VP nominee, said in the wake of the shooting, quote, "Today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs." That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Another Republican Congressman, Mike Collins, said...
And what really annoys me, I already said this earlier, but what really annoys me is that Republicans immediately tried to connect this dot between Democrats' rhetoric and Donald Trump's failed assassination attempt to, they immediately try to connect those dots, but we can literally directly connect the dots between Donald Trump's rhetoric and January 6th, but 3 years later, they still fail to realize that. You can literally directly draw the line from Donald Trump saying the election was stolen to people trying to steal the election back. And the fact that they, without even hesitation, it just shows how political it all is. It actually makes me really disillusioned. The fact that we have elected officials who are willfully ignorant like this. Yeah, J.P. Mandel needs to sit down.
Said, quote, "Joe Biden sent the orders." I just want to get your take, Senator, because you are talking about where this country needs to go.
Frankie, you are literally promoting terrorism. How, you MAGA troll?
Do you think... And do you have concerns that that type of rhetoric, drawing those conclusions so immediately, could only fuel this moment and the tensions?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of frustration on our side about the way President Trump has been treated, but I'm just grateful today that he's alive. I mourn for those,
the man
who didn't make it, and, you know, we'll have a chance here to talk about, you know, what's best for America, but let's just today be grateful that our former president, political nominee, survived an assassination attempt, and I'll try to do better here. I don't want to go down that road right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're immediately.
You're not just an ally of former President Trump. He is.
Okay, I can't do another Lindsey Graham clip.
It's just kind of a surreal thing, but I know him well. He has an inexhaustible reservoir of energy and strength that's almost inexplicable to us sometimes, but he'll keep fighting, and he should. And look, Willie, this is an important point to make. I saw the...
Yeah, I reached out to Luke. I think he's doing fine.
You were showing some of the text messages of...
Yeah, Luke Beasley was at the rally recording, which is wild.
My colleagues in the Senate, the House, they pointed out that the rhetoric has just been over the top. It really has. I mean, there's no figure in American history, at least in the modern era, maybe since Lincoln, who's been so vilified and really persecuted by media and, you know, Hollywood elites, political figures.
Oh, my Lord. The victim routine. God, this was such a gift. This was such a gift for the Republicans. Like, I can't even lie right now. It's just kind of hitting me how much of a gift this is for Republicans. Because Donald Trump is somebody who his whole life has tried to play victim, but especially the past decade. He says that the Emmys were rigged. He says that the elections were rigged. The caucuses, the primaries, everything is rigged, is what they say. And, that people are persecuting Trump. They're going after him. That essentially the trial that he went through was rigged. They're going after him. And now it's like, okay, we finally have an example of somebody going after him. Yeah. Why did it take so long for the Secret Service to react? Why were those buildings not secure? Why was Trump allowed to expose himself again to pump his fist? That's not protocol. Yeah, those are a lot of good questions. Those are a lot of really good questions. And there was a thread I read earlier about this. I'd highly recommend reading this thread if I can find it. It was by a lieutenant, Tim, what was his last name? There is a, go to my YouTube channel. My latest video is me reading this thread about a former person who worked security on presidential campaigns, and he was talking about why and how the security lapse may have happened. And essentially what he was saying, let me just summarize it. There are 3 layers of security at an event like this. There's the primary layer, the closest one, that was the Secret Service agents that you see rush on stage, on camera. Those were his closest layer. There's a secondary layer of local law enforcement officers, the LEOs. Those people are usually local people, and they are the ones who secure the perimeter. You'll see them on the outside rings. You'll see them locking down the buildings. And then there's a third layer. Those are full of snipers. Those are long-range people. And what they're saying is that there was a breakdown in the second layer. So the second layer, the local law enforcement officers who are just surrounding the event, they must have allowed a breach at some point. Not a breach, but they must have allowed somebody to climb up on that rooftop, and that was a complete failure to secure that building. And something that's really interesting, I've been to a lot of MAGA rallies, and I was thinking, a lot of these rallies are only scheduled 4 to 5 days in advance. Like, I'm pretty sure this Pennsylvania rally was only what's it called? Scheduled about 7 days ago. So you could see a reality where in 7 days, they don't have enough time to prep this stuff. Nina Frank said, "This full show sounds like Alex Jones." How so? The outside rally is a consequence of Trump being cheap, broke, and not paying for indoor venues. I don't know. It could be that. I think it's just easier to, it allows for more space, and in good weather, why not? Bill Maher had a pretty good bit about this. Let me find it. We'll watch the first minute of this. It was pretty good.
Well, unequivocally denounced. I don't care what you think about that. Not funny. I'm sure there will be jokes that people will make because they hate him so much about they wish to went the other way. Not for me. Not for me. Not funny in any dimension. And whoever did this, whoever was the shooter, has done so much damage to the left. Lost a lot of moral high ground. And you're the violent people. You know, liberals don't shoot people. Liberals don't solve it that way. Or even suggest. And when I say moral high ground, I just read this on my show last night, the 2025 project, that is the sort of the plank of the Republican Party, which starts our convention tomorrow in Milwaukee. I will be there.
Yeah, sort of interesting, sort of funny. People passed out at the rally yesterday. Yeah, it gets really hot, and Trump was an hour and a half late. I said this earlier, but if you guys missed it, Senate Dems should take one of their assorted gun control bills off the shelf, rename it to something like the Trump Assassination Prevention Act, and force Republicans to do a talking filibuster to block it. That's a pretty good plan right there. Republicans would have to bend over backwards. They'd have to do live mental gymnastics in front of the entire nation, which would be great. Registered Republican. Mehdi Hassan said, "Don't let them gaslight you or guilt you tonight. Top Democrats, unlike Republicans, when the Pelosi's were almost killed, have universally responded with seriousness, soberness, condemnation, and empathy. Republicans could learn a thing or two about how normal people respond." This is totally true. Very well said from Mehdi Hassan. Very, very true. Democrats totally have more class. We totally reacted in a way more serious manner. Whereas, like, 2 days after Mr. Pelosi was almost killed, Trump was like, "Where's your husband, Nancy? What's up with your husband?" Just wild stuff. Mehdi Hassan's good. He's decent. He's good sometimes. Sometimes I disagree with him. Sometimes I agree with him. I've seen some moments in debates where he's a little too, let's say, like, aggressive and arrogant when he doesn't need to be. But I think he's overall
said something about how we all love our country, and I think it's generally true. Most Americans do love their country. One thing that I have found upsetting, if I can editorialize for 1 second, is
I couldn't. Someone was asking me to debate in chat, but I couldn't find the Instagram DM that he sent. I had to send him a link. And
the degree to which so many Americans claim to love their country but hate their fellow Americans. And I'm not talking about Republicans or Democrats. I see it everywhere. And I'm wondering if that's something that concerns you too.
It does. That's what I said. The greatest threat to our nation right now is we're horribly divided. But again, in general, we share the same goals. So, why are we so divided? Well, there are political figures, there are political groups. I would argue that's what identity politics is about. That's what critical race theory is about. So there are people who are purposely trying to divide us for political advantage. Resist it. Don't let them get away with it. And again, start talking to each other. That's part of the problem.
Said something about
My bad. I did this the other day too.
How we all love our country.
Someone said, what are the odds of Trump winning now? I think a little bit higher, but the question is how much higher? Very marginally. Yeah, muted leftist audio. Average liberal audio. Nah, I took a drink of my water, and people complained about that the other day, so I just mute my mic now. And then I always forget to...
and I think it's generally true. Most Americans do love their country. One thing that I have found upsetting, if I can editorialize for 1 second, is...
Pray for President Trump. Pray for America. Pray for the family of the deceased rally goer and 2 individuals that were grievously injured.
Why is CNN interviewing Ron Johnson in the first place?
This is a bit of a wake-up call that rhetoric has gotten so heated. There are
Fox News Sunday host Shannon Bream tries to blame Trump shooting on Democratic rhetoric. Even RNC chair Michael Whatley urges her to pump the brakes on politicizing this. Even the RNC chair urges her to pump the brakes. Let's hear.
To America.
Do you think that this is a bit of a wake-up call that rhetoric has gotten so heated? There are accusations and, comments about the fact that electing somebody would be the end of democracy as we know it, that kind of thing. We had former Attorney General Bill Barr say last night, Democrats have got to stop their grossly irresponsible talk about President Trump being an existential threat to democracy. He is not. Where do we go in our political conversation? I mean, this country is built on being able to disagree and do it in a very heated way. But what about this?
Well, it is. But there is no place in politics in any way, shape, or form for this kind of violence, for these types of actions. It's a horrific act. And we certainly don't know all of the details, and we're going to have time for investigations on it. But right now...
So far, nothing this guy said is bad.
Now I think everybody in America needs to stop. They need to pause. They need to reflect.
So far, that's fair from this guy.
On what is actually important for us in this political process going forward. And, fortunately, we are here in Milwaukee, and the show is going to take place. I think it's tremendously important for us as a country that the Republican Party is going to move forward. We are going to be strong. We are going to be resilient. And certainly President Trump is going to be strong and resilient.
Okay, that was annoying at the end. But, yeah, I do. People see the gravitas of the situation we are in. Yeah, it really does feel like the stakes were just increased yesterday. Chili Billy is back after he told me, and he's just trolling. He said, are you upset they didn't choose you as the shooter? You said you were going to debate me, so you are banned for 24 hours.
Ally of former president.
God, those Lindsey Graham clips were just awful. I really liked what Bernie Sanders said,
Violence yourself in 2017.
What is Biden-Harris HQ saying? The one annoying part is, I mean, there's a lot of terrible parts about this, but something that's annoying to me is that who got banned? Some MAGA troll that kept saying stuff in chat. And I asked him if he's going to troll, then hop on stream, and he wouldn't. He just kept saying, don't you wish you were the one that was shooting him? I don't know. But in recent weeks, so this is the timing of this is so annoying. So this Reuters article reads, in recent weeks, the Biden campaign began its most aggressive effort to brand Trump as a felon. And, okay, Trump is a felon. Trump did try to overthrow our democracy. Trump is an active threat to democracy, but I'm just going to keep reading. The Biden campaign began its most aggressive effort to brand Trump a felon. Yeah, it's weird. Why? What do you mean brand him a felon? He is a felon. With the introduction of a new television advertisement that focused on Trump's criminal conviction. The advertisement was part of a $50 million... Oh, sorry, this is off screen. That's better. A $50 million investment in battleground states, and marked a charge and strategy after an initial reluctance to weigh in on the issue to avoid engaging with Trump's legal woes. Trump was convicted by a New York jury on May 30 of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records related to covering up a payment to silence a porn star ahead of the 2016 election. After the shooting, Senator J.D. Vance, a leading contender to be Trump's running mate, criticized the Biden campaign for portraying Trump as an authoritarian who must be stopped at all costs. Political violence is on the rise in the U.S., with most of the deadly attacks coming from the right, experts say. There was an article that Trump is suspending campaigns. Biden campaign pulls down TV ads following Trump's shooting. That honestly might be one of the biggest L's we've taken today, or over the past 24 hours. They're pausing advertisements, which is kind of annoying. No? Isn't that annoying? Following shots being fired at former President Trump, and thank you. Yesterday, your stream was the first place I went for news. Thank you, FeelWise. I think we had a good stream last night. I think we had a really good stream last night. We kept it grounded. We kept it calm. We stuck to the facts as everything came out. And there were a few moments when I was arguing with the chat saying like, guys, don't get conspiratorial, but I think it was all for the better. I think it was good that we were all having this healthy discussion and that we were able to swat down some of the crazy theories like Trump. Someone was trying to convince me that Trump was holding a razor blade in his hand, and when he touched his ear, he cut his ear on purpose. Like, people had it all figured out. C. Collins said, I thought pausing donations/commercials proves Biden is a classy guy. It does prove that Biden's a classy guy, but at the same time, it's like we're right in a critical moment where Donald Trump has the Supreme Court behind him, has Congress behind him. He's speed running our country towards a dictatorship, and it doesn't feel like Biden and other Democrats have been effectively able to combat that. I know that Biden has given some really good speeches over the past week or so. I know that. Biden's been doing fine. He's been giving clear, good speeches, but I want someone who's really energetic. Even Kamala Harris is able to lay out the threat of Donald Trump more effectively. Keep in mind, Kamala Harris is a prosecutor, so she was able to lay it out easily. And, yeah. But to go back to this, following shots being fired at former President Donald Trump on Saturday, the Biden-Harris campaign. So my whole point was, in a time when Democrats are failing to push the correct narrative because we're so divided, we don't even know if Biden should be I know that Biden should be the candidate, but a lot of Democrats are saying Biden shouldn't be the candidate. So in a time when we're so divided, the least we can ask for are some ads, right? Following shots being fired at former President Trump on Saturday, the Biden-Harris campaign is, quote, pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down our television ads as quickly as possible. Come on. As quickly as possible. A campaign official told media outlets on Saturday. A Hunna Racing said in chat, so this is a blue influence stream. Can you tell me one thing I've said today that hasn't been factual? Anything I've said that hasn't been factual. The move to suspend political communications is common following a significant event like what happened at the Republican candidate's event, where he was apparently grazed by a bullet. The president shared both a statement and made public remarks Saturday evening. He and numerous other members of political parties have spoken out to wish Trump the best and to decry political violence. One member of the crowd was killed, as was the shooter. Another audience member remains in critical condition. You were annoyed they stopped ads. How is that not? Yeah, in the middle of a heated political campaign? How is this going to hurt Biden's chances? I don't know that it hurts Biden as much as it just kind of helps rally Trump's base. Like, Biden's not going to lose a single voter because of this, but I could just see there being this rallying effect. Similarly to after 9/11, even the worst figures in politics, like think about Rudy Giuliani, who was the mayor of New York at the time. Everybody rallied around Rudy Giuliani. There tends to be this rally effect. On top of that, they got that really effing good photo of Donald Trump. They got that really good photo of Donald Trump. And I wish I wasn't saying that, but That photo of Donald Trump is going to help him. Yeah, was this the October surprise? Basically. Thank you, Electrified. Love your streams, bro. Been watching all the vids. Do you think that Trump supporters will increase violence against trans people or minority races? No, I wouldn't go that far. I don't want to fearmonger or like sound an alarm. There's a reality where the news cycle is short. There's no copycats. Like you said, as a trans person, I'm really worried about violence increasing. No, you'll be fine. I remember when Aaron Bushnell lit himself on fire because of Palestine and Israel, people immediately were saying there are going to be a bunch of copycats. There are going to be so many copycats. It's going to escalate violence. It's going to be terrible. We didn't have any copycats. We had that one guy outside of the Trump trial, but that was different. So I just don't see there being like copycats or an increase in violence or hell breaking loose like that. I wouldn't worry yourself too much. But to keep going. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country, Trump said on Truth Social in his first statement on the incident. Quote, nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet. Yeah, we read Melania's letter. That was good. With a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear, I knew immediately that something was wrong when I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized what was happening. Yeah, Biden to pull down all campaign ads. This part is yeah. Authorities search for a motive. I could probably mod you, Roxy, Rox1, but I just modded like 2 people today already, so I will soon. Much bleeding took place. More bleeding than we've ever seen in the world. The best bleeding. Francis Zelenka, thank you. I appreciate that. Just say copies. Why do you have to drag cats into this? Yeah. Cats have been getting a bad rap lately ever since the alley cat remark. Former President Donald Trump said Sunday that God prevented the unthinkable from happening the morning after he survived a shooting. Let's pull up Trump Truth Social. We haven't checked that today. Yeah, did you guys see that video of the lady in the crowd who the whole time when the shooting was happening, it was like some older white lady. She's sitting there recording it, and everything, all hell is breaking loose around her. People are dropping, people are screaming, and she just doesn't move. She's just recording around her. It was just kind of funny. Literally had no, why is Truth Social always down? Truth Social actually sucks. Like, the infrastructure of it is actually terrible. Let me pull this up because I just read that Trump was posting on Truth Social. 5 hours ago, Donald Trump said, actually, I'll just send this over to my laptop. Here's Donald Trump's statement from a few hours ago. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday. Thoughts and prayers. As it was God who prevented the unthinkable from happening. I'm sure it was, Trump. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. Honestly, if you were already a MAGA supporter who thought that Donald Trump was sent by God, wouldn't this just reinforce this? Like, if you already thought Donald Trump was heaven sent, wouldn't you just reinforce? Wouldn't this, I'm just putting myself in their shoes. Wouldn't this be like, oh my God, God wants him to be alive? Heard in the news already. Yeah, you can tell this isn't him that wrote it. Not enough all caps and not enough typos. Our love goes out to the other victims and their families. Yeah, Trump doesn't say something like that. Sure, it was God, but another man died. Yeah, God must have hated that other Trump supporter that passed away. Rest in peace, for real. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded and hold in our hearts the memory of the citizen who was horribly killed. That is actually, it's incredibly sad that some, like, probably father went to an event. Do we know information about the man who died yet? Like anything, his age or anything? I don't think they've released much. It is more important than ever. In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined, and not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country and love you all. Look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin. Interesting. Let's see. I just got an update on my Twitter feed. Oh, I completely forgot I tweeted this. This is doing well. About 30 minutes ago, I tweeted So they said, today we're all MAGA. I said, who's we? It's doing decent. It has a few hundred likes. Let's go back to this homepage. Yeah, nah, this one's wild. This tweet is wild. I already pulled this up, but it's just kind of funny. Someone said, if I've offended anyone with my recent tweets, I'd like to make things up. DM me, and I'll buy you front row seats to the next Trump rally. Come on, man. Come on. Chill out. I want to read through some of these tweets again because these are really funny. Destiny said, I want to profusely apologize to any Trump supporters in my audience that I've misled into thinking I view them as anything beyond the unpatriotic, treacherous, anti-American scum that they are. Doing my best to rectify that ASAP. Paul Pelosi had his head beaten in with a hammer. And by an assailant with a hammer. Trump's response was to make fun of him. Hopefully, he will now understand that was wrong. Okay, this was the best one. Ben Shapiro said, yes, clearly after an assassination attempt against Trump, the problem of heated rhetoric is all about Trump's rhetoric, you pathetic sad sack ass clowns. That's Ben Shapiro. Destiny said, when the guy you supported openly and unabashedly tried to overthrow the government and then begged the Supreme Court for criminal immunity so he could become a king above the law and avoid all accountability for his actions, it's hard to have the moral high ground on any kind of response. This is the world conservatives have built, and now the rest of us have to live in it. Incredibly, incredibly true. I read that like 2 hours ago, but I just wanted to read that again because I thought it was a really good point. Really well said there. That basically summarizes a lot of how I feel. It is the world conservatives have built. Not that we can justify that, but Tim Pool. Wow, this fighting is crazy. All the fighting on Twitter. Destiny said, a person in the crowd cheering for and supporting a traitor to this country caught astray. I'm so sad. Please. Tim Pool quote tweeted, when they tell you who they are, believe them. Yesterday, this country changed irrevocably. And Destiny responded, coming from Tim, who has been screaming for a civil war literally for years. Like literally, Tim Pool just spams the word civil war. No one wants to see death and destruction more than people like this. Remember, they're the ones who make money off of your misery. Yeah, Tim Pool is literally the worst. Tim Pool has released tons of videos saying upcoming civil war. He calls for 49 state landslides. He is somebody who is meant to instill a false sense of hope into Trump supporters, into the people that he cons. I mean, he cons the same people who Donald Trump cons, but Tim Pool instills a false sense of hope. Tim Pool likes to fearmonger. Tim Pool is the worst of the worst. He's like, the idea that someone like this can be considered a journalist, Something bum said, seriously, how rested are you all? Honestly, I barely slept. I'd say I went to bed at like midnight and woke up at like 4 a.m. and immediately started recording. I was like, I don't know what else I could spend my time doing today. Oh my God, they are going at each other's throats. Okay. Destiny said, a person in the crowd cheering for and supporting a traitor to this country catching a stray. Constantine, who, if you guys don't know Constantine, he's like an upcoming figure who, I think he's like a centrist, maybe a Trump supporter. He said, this is what your soul on Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Come on. Destiny said, TDS is what the intellectually bankrupt screech when their media star cash cow is attacked by anyone with a shred of common sense. He is being ratioed really hard down here, but Constantine said, no, TDS is when you celebrate a random person being murdered in the process of an attempted assassination of a political candidate. What an immoral hypocrite you've become. When you reap the rewards of what you've done today, remember that you did it to yourself. I sure will. Destiny said, what are you talking about, you valueless, soulless, effing banshee? The right has been walking this effing country off of a cliff for years. While Trump was trying to dismantle the country, you effing R-words cried about trans people in woke schools. Okay, he's obviously really going crazy on Twitter. But it's okay. We need someone on the left to be doing that. Ooh, this is good. MAGA hypocrisy is off the charts. Let's do a thread. Let's go. Donald Trump Jr. Dems and their friends in the media knew exactly what they were doing with the literal Hitler BS. And then Donald Trump. So, no, what Destiny said was logical. I just think that some of the rhetoric he was using was inflammatory. So Donald Trump Jr. said, Dems and their friends in the media knew what they were doing with this literally Hitler BS. And then Donald Trump Jr. also says, it's a total disgrace what's going on in this fascist regime. Democracy dies in darkness. So both sides say that the other side is a threat to democracy. What's TDS? Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Ben Shapiro said, a shocking and tragic day for the nation and an amazing, heroic response from President Trump. You cannot repeatedly and endlessly label a major political party candidate and former president as actual Hitler, a full-scale threat to democracy, without radically increasing the danger of violence in America. Blah, blah, blah. The danger has been obvious for years. Ben Shapiro then says, the attempt to twist the Paul Pelosi attack into the broader story about supposed extremism in the Republican Party is so transparently opportunistic and pathetic. Come on, homie. Come on. Everyone can see what you're doing. Democrats and the media. It's disgusting. Really quickly, the Adam Mockler subreddit. I'm going to link it in chat for you. Subreddit Adam Mockler. A lot of fun stuff going on there. Memes. We talk about Project 2025. We do research streams. Also, can I ask you guys really quickly? Type a 1 in chat if you like the layout where my face cam is in the bottom left corner, and type a 2 if you like the split screen. So there's another layout that I do sometimes where my webcam is more like down here. This is 1. If you like this, I'll fix it more. This is 2 if you like this, split screen. What's better, split screen? No split screen? Let me do a poll. 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 I don't know how the hell I thought I could count your guys' chats like that in real time. I don't know how I thought that was a good idea. I'm just sitting here rapidly counting. It doesn't really matter that much, but I'm just curious. Which screen? Split screen or corner screen? Please vote in that poll. It's kind of just a side thing. I'm curious. Split screen or corner screen? And if there's no difference, then just, yeah. Okay. J.D. Vance said, today is not some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. A lot of you guys like the split screen. Someone said, bruh, who cares? Someone in chat earlier said they hate the new layout, so I was just kind of curious. But J.D. Vance said, I go back and forth between thinking Trump might be a cynical asshole like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad, or maybe that he's America's Hitler. Is this a real quote from J.D. Vance? Did he actually call him America's Hitler at one point? 2, but your camera should be tighter. Your cam should be 1/3. That would make sense. My camera could be like 1/3 of the screen, and then... One second, let me change the size. That might be a little bit better. Then you guys can see more of the screen. All right, sorry, back to this. Yeah, wait, is this a real J.D. Vance quote? I've heard people say this, but when did he say this? Yeah, rule of thirds to all my photographers in here. He told NPR that year he can't stand Trump. By the way, this is Trump's most likely VP pick. J.D. Vance is Trump's most likely VP pick. Trump told NPR that year, I can't stomach Trump. He wrote an op-ed for the New York Times titled, Mr. Trump is unfit for our nation's highest office. You could find that still? By Mr. Trump is unfit for our nation's highest office by J.P. Mandel. No, thank you guys for helping me with that stream layout, though, because people in chat were complaining earlier. 1/3 is pretty good. I think this is better. The split screen was a little bit too, to the right, but moving on. Vance said that he didn't vote for Trump in 2016, and his former roommate shared messages of text messages Vance sent him that year. Oh, these were leaked text messages? In which he called Trump cynical and said he could be America's Hitler. Francis Zelenka, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's even worse, that they're leaked texts. That's even worse. But also, I can't lie. Just like thinking of a personal point of view, it is JP Mandel is what Donald Trump accidentally called JD Vance. It's just a meme. Honestly, though, if I had a roommate who I talked politics with privately, and I privately texted my roommate an opinion that I had about a candidate, and that roommate leaked it, I don't think I'd talk to that person ever again. I'm sure they've never talked. I hate JD Vance. I'm not running defense for him. I'm just saying the fact that his roommate exposed him, good for us. But if I was texting someone that I thought I could trust and they leaked my texts, that would annoy the hell out of me. Especially since I'm a creator in a way too. It's a content creator. By the time Vance launched his campaign for Senate in 2021, his views were closely aligned with Trump's. He met with the former president and quickly won his endorsement, gaining a crucial boost in the Republican primary. Thank you. What's up, Alec? How you doing? I didn't think he was going to be a good president, Vance said. Yeah, Tim Apple. That's really funny. Tim Apple. He was great. He was a great president, and it's one of the reasons why I'm working so hard to make sure he gets a second term. What was great about his presidency? If I wasn't a creator, then there would be no worries about my private texts about politics being leaked. Because who would care? Yeah. Shout out to my roommates who hopefully won't leak my text. I mean, I don't say anything crazy. I'm just saying, everyone talks politics privately, right? And, yeah. So, let's go back to this thread. I wanted to know if that was a real quote. And it is. It is. I'd never heard him, I didn't know if it was a video. I didn't know if it was a leaked text, and it was a leaked text. Matt Walsh, the infamous Matt Walsh. All of the talk about Trump being a fascist dictator was meant to lead to this. This is why they say it. This is the point. Sister Soul, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that. If this was the other way around, do you think Trump would reach out to President Biden? Absolutely not. We talked about this yesterday. Not only can we speculate that he wouldn't reach out to Biden, but we know for a fact that Donald Trump never reached out to Mike Pence to see if he was okay after January 6th. Mike Pence wrote a book. And in that book, he details how Donald Trump never called him to see if he was okay after people were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," after people were storming the Capitol when he was in there. I don't even think they've talked since January 6th. I don't even think Trump and Pence have talked. I might be wrong. I remember reading this. Pence hasn't spoken to Trump in months. Capitol riot to blame for rift. And I don't know if there are updates, but I remember this. Trump never called. So sorry, Matt Walsh was saying all of this talk about Trump being a fascist was meant to lead to this. Then he said, Joe Biden used the power of his office to slander a hero cop as a racist murderer. Jesus Christ. The absolute irony or hypocrisy, both. Republicans should file articles of impeachment. He's like, yeah, don't use crazy political rhetoric about fascism or about abusing power. And he literally does the same thing. Come on. I'm not reading all these words from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene does not have enough value to take up this many of my words. Democrats wanted this to happen. They've wanted Trump gone for years. Blah, blah, blah. Thank God for Secret Service. What did she say in this? I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda. Yikes. Absolute yikes. But remember, guys, don't use violent rhetoric, remember, but also gonna blow away the Democrats. That's wild. This is a good thread so far. Oh my lord. How many trolls are gonna ask this in chat? What's great about a Biden presidency? I have my little spiel about how he's one of the most effective presidents due to his Michelle Ladd just typed 2 in chat. Michelle is obviously 10 minutes behind stream, and I'm still asking that question. That's just kind of funny. And now in 10 minutes, she's going to catch up and be like... But, yeah, I mean, I could go through all of the legislation that President Biden has passed. But I don't really want to go through the spiel again. We'll do that another time. That's for another time. I've done it already. Lauren Boebert, Biden is responsible for the shooting today. How do you say that like hours after it happens? How do you like possibly send out a tweet like that? Like yesterday, I was being very careful not to jump to conclusions. I was being very careful not to tweet anything inflammatory. I was trying to calm things down and keep people grounded. I could not imagine having a public platform and using it to say stuff like this. Appreciate you, Adam. Long live freedom and democracy. Thank you, Sarlux. I appreciate you being here. I've seen your chats a few times and I appreciate them. Thank you guys all for being here. Lauren Boebert said, everyone who has called Trump a fascist, they need to have a deep reflection before another tragedy takes place. But then she said, more illegal immigrants are entering our southern border each month than at any point during Obama's reign of disaster. 180,000 in July to add to the 1 million confirmed this year alone. Biden's regime is the most dangerous and extreme we've ever seen in America. And keep in mind, Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans have been the ones essentially salivating for some sort of terrorist attack. For some sort of terrorist attack to happen. Let me find this clip. It should pop up. He was just... I really hope a dead body doesn't pop up on the... There's been like pictures of the dead person on Twitter. Oh, yikes. Right here.
Tonight. The one thing you haven't said tonight that you always say is that it's 100% certain that we're going to have a terror attack, and I agree with you on that. It's 100% certain.
What? Are you scared that your friends will leak your Republican texts? No, it's not that. It's just like, okay, I'm a 21-year-old college kid. My 21-year-old college kid, or my 21-year-old, not kid, I'm an adult. I'm not going to say I'm a kid. I'm a 21-year-old college student. I have college student friends. We make edgy jokes about politics. We say wild stuff about politics. Stuff that I wouldn't like say, yeah, I mean, I make jokes with my friends who are my age, and if my friends leaked that, I'd be like, come on, man. Like, I have a career to... Yeah.
Well, the one thing you haven't said...
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that in my private text messages I'm some like big MAGA supporter.
Tonight that you always say is that it's 100% certain that we're going to have a terror attack, and I agree with you on that. It's 100% certain. I mean, we're letting terrorists into our...
I pray I'm wrong.
You guys don't like talk politics with your family members, and you like say, yeah, I don't know. It's just...
We're letting terrorists into our country at a level that we've never seen before. Well, the one thing you haven't said tonight that you always say is that it's 100% certain that we're going to have a terror attack, and I agree with you on that. It's 100% certain. I mean, we're letting terrorists into our...
I pray I'm wrong.
And what Donald Trump was saying here is that we're letting terrorists into our countries. Yeah. What he's saying is that we're letting terrorists in our countries because he thinks the border is open or whatever, but maybe the call was coming from inside the house when the person who shot him was a Republican. Who's actually poisoning the blood of our country other than this mother effer right here is the one that's poisoning the blood of our country. If anybody is poisoning the blood of the country. But we don't use rhetoric like that. That's not something we should say. Let's go over to the live updates again. Oh, this is sad as hell. 50-year-old man that was fatally shot at a Trump rally, a, quote, hero who dove onto his family to protect them. Oh, my Lord. That actually makes me incredibly sad. Jesus.
With the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police. I'm joined today.
This is the Pennsylvania Governor, Josh.
Of course, by Colonel Christopher Paris of the Pennsylvania State Police. Law enforcement will have more to share throughout the day. I'd like to make a few comments separate from the ongoing investigation. First and foremost, the assassination attempt on the former president, Donald Trump, last night was absolutely unacceptable and tragic. Lori and I are grateful that the former president is safe and, according to him and his team, is fine. It's also important to note that last night, 3 of our fellow Pennsylvanians were shot.
Yep. Thank you, Igneous.
1 fatally, 2 in critical condition. I've just spent time speaking to the families, and I want to offer my prayers and the prayers of all 13 million Pennsylvanians for the 2 individuals who are being treated at this time. We lost a fellow Pennsylvanian last night. Corey, comparator. I just spoke to Corey's wife and Corey's 2 daughters. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter.
This is incredibly sad. This is incredibly sad.
Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing. Last night was shocking for this community.
This is really messed up. This is really messed up.
For this Commonwealth, and I know for this country. Political disagreements can never, ever be addressed through violence. Disagreements are okay.
He's right. Someone in chat just said this is what you get being MAGA, but no. The whole point of America is that we have a diverse amount of ideas. We are a liberal democracy where we can have conflicting ideas. We can have pushback. We can have push and pull. That's what I was trying to say. And it's just the idea that nobody deserves this, especially just for believing what you want to believe. We can disagree with his agreements, but let's do that. Let's not shoot people. That is never the answer in a democracy. No Peaks, thank you, said, hey Adam, been watching you for months. I'm 28 and love the fact that you've taken the initiative to do journalism at your age and spread the message to younger generations. They are so confused. Yeah, and I could see how, I could see why people get confused. TikTok basically incentivizes these 30-second videos where you don't fully get all of the facts, and it's just a lot of people in my generation only get their news on TikTok. So I'm trying to embrace better researching practices. Thank you, Jeremiah.
But we need to use a peaceful political process to settle those differences.
Ricardo said straight up lying is not conflicting ideas. Okay, I can grant you that these people are straight up lying, of course. Do you think that if somebody's lying in a democracy, they deserve to get killed? Because I don't think that's how it should work. In a democratic country where the whole purpose of America, it's built, its foundation is that it's a melting pot of different ideas. Like, I don't agree with religious people. I wouldn't want them to be killed. You know, a lot of Muslim Americans are socially conservative. And I say this because my dad is Muslim and my dad's whole side of the family is Muslim. And I'm not talking about them here, but I've been ingrained in Muslim communities growing up, and a lot of Muslims tend to be homophobic. They tend to hold regressive views. Are we going to kill people like that just because they... Are we going to kill people just because they disagree with us or hold terrible views? That's not what we do in America. That is not what we do in America.
This is a moment.
Someone said, yes, I'm an ex-Muslim. I despise it. Yeah, I've spent a lot of years ingrained in the culture of Islam. Jesus lied, read the Bible. The shooter was a registered Republican. Yep.
Well,
that's what they're reporting.
Have a responsibility to...
But yeah, sorry, my overall point was that just because somebody holds reprehensible views does not mean that they should get shot. No.
Speak and act with...
Stop blaming Democrats for Trump's violence. Well, we're not doing that on this stream. Republicans are
moral
doing that,
clarity.
Sure.
Where all leaders need to take down the temperature and rise above the hateful rhetoric that exists and search for a better, brighter future for this nation. It's the work that I try to do every day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's the work that falls to each and every American right now. So I ask that you join me in prayer for the 2 Pennsylvanians who are in critical condition. That we continue to wish for a full and speedy recovery and pray for the former president. And that the Comparator family remains in our thoughts and prayers.
That was really good. That was really good from Governor Shapiro there. Dave Smith said, how the F can you say he's literally Hitler and democracy is on the line, but we wish him a speedy recovery and political violence is never acceptable? Because we live in a liberal democracy. How these two things are not conflicting whatsoever. What? How can you say that somebody is a threat to democracy, but also hope that they don't get shot in between the eyes? Yeah, those two things are not. Yeah, those two things are not mutually exclusive. I think Trump is a threat to democracy who would run our country off the cliff if reelected. Do I want him shot in the head? No. What? It's just so disingenuous. But then Dave Smith also said, just remember today that democracy is not on the ballot. The U.S. is not a democracy. It's a republic. It's a fascist oligarchy that allows for minimal amount of participation from the citizens. Come on. Come on. Literally edgelords. Yep. You put your finger on it. This part was friend of the show, Wick. I've been on his panel a few times. We went on his panel last week. He talked to live stream. He would talk to political pundit Destiny, and Destiny was being an edgelord about it. He was saying some wild stuff, and I'm not going to say this stuff, but I'll play it because I think it's worth listening to.
Give it a minute, gang. He'll get here.
Whoops.
If you're talking, you're not audible. Get this fixed somehow, gang. For you. It's here, gang.
Even if Destiny is correct, the way he says this is wild. This is some wild stuff right here.
Oh, there we are. We have an audible connection now.
He goes
Can you hear
crazy.
me?
Watch.
Oh, my shit's working. What's up?
Yeah. So, you made a tweet, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about it. Okay. I don't. Yeah, you can call me soy all you like, right? But just because the other side, like Trump, jokes about Pelosi's husband getting hammered by a guy with a hammer and things, just because that side engages in that kind of behavior and that kind of rhetoric and that kind of...
I want to see who you guys agree with between the two here. We're going to see who we agree with. Maybe we'll pull the chat after. I want to see who you guys agree with. It's like a 4-minute debate. It's just 4 minutes.
Ha ha ha, we can joke about the bad things that happen to them. I don't think that makes it okay for us to turn around and do the same. And in fact, I think that's one of the reasons we are at this point that we are in this country.
No, I reject that. No, we need to, that needs to stop. The whole idea that like, well, the reason why we're here is because liberals and the left just haven't cucked out enough. The reason why we're here, the reason why we don't have our Supreme Court justice, the reason why Trump has to get criminal immunity to survive his court case is because the left just isn't kind enough. Nah, I'm over it. I'm super over it. My only regret is that the guy didn't spend more time. Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying.
That is not what I'm saying.
Hold on. You're saying we're here right now because the left is like turning the temperature too much. No, we're here right now because Trump is fucking insane, because he has support from 90% of the conservatives in the Republican Party who are entirely un-American. Fuck them. Whatever happens, happens. I don't give a fuck. At this point, my only regret is that the guy didn't spend enough time practicing first. It is insane how much conservatives get to set the fucking standard on all the conversation in this country. It's absolutely insane. We're supposed to jump up and feel sad that the guy who is one of the most divisive presidents in all of history got shot at? Fucking give me a break. Please give me a fucking break.
Okay, one person is dead who isn't Trump.
That was really funny, though. Oh, no, he was really mad. Destiny is really mad. I think some of his rhetoric is a little bit too inflammatory, but he's right about Republicans leading this year. Yeah, there's a lot of swearing. Sorry, but we're adults.
Right,
we're
who got
adults.
shot out. Someone in the crowd that was just going to a rally who got fucking murked by this guy. And two others are in critical condition. I think it's okay to show a little empathy. Don't you?
You're right. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't know somebody else died. What state was this in?
Pennsylvania. My state.
Swing state voter. Fuck you.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, what?
Yikes. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Someone said he's 100% correct. Jesus Christ. Chat's going wild. No, it's hilarious. It's unhinged, but it's funny.
Okay. This is the problem, right? It's not the only problem we have, but it's absolutely a problem when we think it's okay to joke about people getting fucking killed because they are a political opponent.
Okay, it's really annoying right here because, like, I kind of agree with both of them. Wick is the guy on the left who's just talking right now. Wick is right that we should probably chill on the political rhetoric, but then Destiny, he says it with a lot of unhingedness, a lot of edgelord stuff. Yeah, like you said, Mark, a lot of edgelordisms, but
opponents, right? And it's a swing state voter. That's bullshit. And this idea that we see the other side as this enemy that cannot be redeemed, that we have to, that it's okay to joke about violence with, it's okay to make these asinine statements, is one of the reasons that someone thought it was okay to take a shot at a contender for the presidency.
This is Wick TV for people asking. Wick TV, go check them out. Friend of the show.
The United States. We have opened up this Pandora box. We are lighting a fire.
Oh, I didn't mean to click off.
Pennsylvania, my state.
Swing state.
And it won't be just the people. What are you
talking
about? Starting an inferno.
It's already burnt, dog. It's already burning. What are you talking
that
about?
That doesn't mean we throw wood on the fire and help it.
Fire. You're standing in a house on fire, and you're like, well, hold on, guys. Like, it might get pretty hot here if you actually turn the temperature up just a little bit. Listen, in the United States of America, no one citizen is greater than any other citizen. Donald Trump wanted absolute criminal immunity. I think this guy should get at least presumptive immunity until we've looked into a little bit, why it is he shot at him. Oh, shit, he's dead now, so I guess we can't. Or no, wait, who died? It was a voter instead? It wasn't the actual shooter? Who knows? Maybe the guy thought he was acting in his official capacity as some servant to the United States.
Yo, we got another 2 in chat. Jude T said 2. You're like 20 minutes behind, Jude.
Something,
See you in 20.
Look, here's the deal. We don't know what the motivation of the shooter was. I can't speculate on it. It could be...
oh, wait, Biden's live speaking? Let me pull it up. Biden's
on
live.
The left. It could be someone on the right, like a Fuentes type, who thought Trump didn't go far enough, right? And that was betraying them. It could be a Hamas guy who's like, oh, look at Trump. He wants to help Israel too.
Biden speaking on Trump shooting. He's speaking in a minute.
How to put together a...
Oh, God, where's the live stream? Oh. He's on in 7 minutes. Okay. People in chat were saying he's on. So I just was, okay. We can watch this for like 5 more minutes.
Too much. We don't know.
Thank you, guys.
And we could just speculate. But what I will say, right, is yes, just because you're correct with there's a fire burning right now, but that doesn't give us leave to throw more wood on it. What we should be instead is trying to tamp down, to turn the temperature down. And I understand that the other side is going to be assholes about this, who are going to make all these jokes, and that's okay. That's why they lost in 2020, because they went too extreme, right? And that's why they're going to continue to lose in the future, because they're the ones that everyone sees as the bad guys. So if we start to engage in that same type of rhetoric and that same type of behavior, people will not be able to see the difference between us and them, and we will lose that political edge. So even just from a strategic, not throwing morals out the window here, even from just a strategic point of view, it's a dead end. It's a way that it's a race to the bottom, and it's going to hurt us electorally, and we should stop doing that.
Brandon said the 2 sides of my brain right now are these 2 guys. Honestly, same. Everyone has that side where it's like, okay, this was incredibly serious. We should take everything down a step. We should chill out. And there's always the other side that's like, well, Republicans brought this on themselves, blah, blah. Usually you should pick the more rational route, the one that will lead to a thriving liberal democracy.
Look, I get it, right? I get it. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's like the angel and devil on your shoulders.
Just to be clear, we didn't.
He's the angel. He's the devil.
Win 2020 because they went too extreme. We won 2020 because Trump fucked his handling of COVID up so bad that it motivated voters on the Biden side and it demotivated some voters on the Trump side.
What are we doing exactly? We're waiting for Biden to speak in about 5 minutes. We'll
forget. Trump got the second most amount of votes in all of U.S. presidential election history. Okay, only behind Biden in that election. So the idea that they got 2 radicals, they got 2.
Sarlux, thank you for the dono. I don't know if I said that yet. Yeah, join the Mockler subreddit in chat. Join the
radical. They got too extreme and it turned off voters. It's absolutely bullshit. No, it's not. Trump has only gotten more radical since that election.
Join the Discord as well.
Better than he was last time. You think Trump is moderated?
No.
You think Trump has gotten less radical? Do you think he has less support?
Extreme.
Do you think that? So that's the issue. The issue is that the Democrats have gotten more
just one
radical.
Issue is bullshit too. This idea that there's only one issue that was because of this one single thing and this one single incident like COVID that was what cost us the election is bullshit. That contributed absolutely. But if it wasn't also for the extremism and rhetoric and the just dislikability of Trump, I don't think we would. We might have lost it. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't prove a negative. I can't go back in time, right? But when we come out to 2024 coming up, right? And so first of all, I think we just lose. I think this shooting that's ball game. I think we lose. Like, so that shooter cost us the election. It's done. Right? Have you seen some of these photos coming out of Trump with his fist in the fucking air and the American flag behind him and the Secret Service around him?
David Pacman is totally right in this tweet. Someone said Destiny's points are fair, but his tone is extreme. Yep, that's Destiny summarized in one sentence. David Pacman said, I'm getting endless deranged emails attacking me for having caused the assassination attempt on Trump's life despite never uttering a call to violence in my life. Attacked for not condemning the shooting, which I of course did immediately, and attacked for not covering the shooting, which of course I did during an impromptu 2-hour live stream last night, despite having a weekday only program. Why on earth would anyone focus on me here is truly beyond words. And what's wild is I got an email last night too that was like, how do you feel about left-wing media, people like you contributing to this? And I was like, what left-wing? How have I contributed to this? Never once in my life have I ever. I've always been very, very chill. I go to these MAGA rallies and I talk to these people.
Got shot at. So, like, did he? Oh, yeah, he lived. Huh. Yeah, and what's worse is he looked really cool when it happened. What do you mean he looked cool when it happened? He unfortunately looked very cool when it happened. How do you look cool getting
She's a Trump supporter.
My name is Thomas.
Trump and Biden phone call. Yeah, how do you guys think this phone call went between Trump and Biden? Like, how do you envision that? I can't even... He was like, Joe was probably really nice. He's like, hey, man, I hope you're okay. And Trump's probably really sarcastically like...
Eugene? Hey. Hey. Listen, I just wanted to, apologize for my behavior today. Wasn't right what I done, and I realized I hurt the feelings of someone I care about. You still there? Yeah. I'm still here. Good. I want to make it up to you.
I doubt that's how it went. I doubt that's how it went. Okay, I'm just scrolling through meme Twitter right now. It's all memes. All right, hold up 1 second. There was a thread that I was reading earlier. Let me pull this up. Biden speaks in 2 minutes, y'all. Biden speaks in 2 minutes. Yeah, Trump is not that nice. Loved Bernie's statement. Hated Lindsey Graham's statement. Hated Speaker of the House Mike Johnson's statement. This is going to ruin late night comedy. Can SNL even joke about this? Like, I don't know if they will. The cutting edge of memes is not always greatness. Oh, I wonder what happened to this. This is... Aaron Rupar tweeted last night, I was hoping to catch some of the Trump rally, but he's a half hour late in counting, and I'm going to Earth, Wind, and Fire tonight in Chicago with my mom. So I think I'm going to have to punt on live coverage. Lord have mercy. He missed quite a night. That was quite a night to miss. Quite a night to miss. Why are you talking about SNL? Do something better. We're just waiting for Biden to speak, homie. Biden's speaking in like 1 minute. And I've been streaming, I haven't stopped talking for 2 hours. Yeah, if you watch like my 2 hour live streams, I probably do repeat myself about 2 hours in. I feel like it's inevitable. If you're going to be doing like a 3, 4, 5 hour live stream, you're going to talk about the same point sometimes. You're going to go over, there's going to be new people in chat. There are points that I made when only 300 people were in here, and I want to remake them. But Biden's going to kill it. You know Biden's going to kill it. Biden speaking any minute now. Hopefully within the next few. Gonna kill it? Oh my lord, yeah. Interesting choice of words. Whoops. Whoops. I will bite the bullet there. That was a poor choice of words. Shit, I did it again. Alright, any minute now. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what the motivations of the shooter were. Like, I'm really interested to see. Because I said this earlier, but okay, when there's a shooting that happens, you automatically leap to the idea that it was, oh, I said earlier, what a night to miss. What a night to miss. Yeah. But, no, but it's really easy to jump to the conclusion, like, okay, this is going to be some person on the far left who hates Trump, but now it is a Republican who wears camo, who is a lone wolf, who was bullied. Yeah. Phrasing. Ear spurs. Trump didn't hear it coming. Too soon, guys. Too soon. I can make jokes. You guys can't. That's how it works. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I really don't care. Melania's wearing her I don't care, do you jacket. Yeah, people were posting that all over Twitter. This was my whole Twitter feed today, essentially. Too soon for gun control debate? Too late. We should have been having the gun control debate yesterday. Something bum. Something bum. Biden speaks any minute. Biden speaks any minute. We can scroll through Twitter a little bit more. This was a really good thread. Gather videos before trust me, I gathered videos, a lot of videos before I went on. I had a bunch of videos pulled up, so much stuff. We watched a bunch of stuff, but how we're 2.5 hours into live stream. I don't have 2.5 hours of video content up, so now we're just covering things as they come out. But yeah. I genuinely could not have gotten 2.5 hours of content prepped if I wanted to. I honestly didn't even know Biden was going to be speaking. How would I prep for Biden's speech? Yeah, I saw Luke was at the rally. Biden is speaking in a few minutes. Thank you, Ellie. See? Biden is speaking in a few minutes. This is from a MAGA reporter. Keep in mind, this is from a MAGA reporter, but I do want to read this tweet. Colin Rugg is like a MAGA dude. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, I think he is. Justin, the suspect who tried to assassinate Donald Trump made a donation to Act Blue. I think this was proven false. I can't remember. I think it was somebody with the same name. So this person is spreading disinformation, I believe. Let me see if that was debunked. It was debunked. It was someone with the same name. Okay, interesting. So these people are just spreading disinformation. Matt Walsh says, registered Republican, no friends, nobody knows anything about him, no social media. This is the quickest cleanup job we've ever seen. We'll never be told the whole story or even a partial one. Jesus Christ, the conspiracy theories, kill me. The quickest cleanup job, what do you mean? He also glosses over the fact that the entire premise for the tweet was debunked. The entire premise for the tweet has been debunked. He conveniently glosses over that fact, whatever the word is. Biden to speak any second now. I hope he does well. I hope he speaks well. You're claiming it was staged. I'm not. I've never done that. It's interesting, too, because the New York Post was the one who reported on, the ID, which is interesting. Refresh the page. Which one? Matt Walsh is a clown. Absolutely.
My name is Brian DeLallo.
Lord
I
have
teach
mercy.
AP and...
The conspiracy theories are wild. I clicked on one MAGA tweet like a few minutes ago, and now my whole feed, this is how Twitter works, it's so algorithmic. My whole feed is like conspiracy theories now. Like, why is Matt Walsh at the top of my feed? Why is Matt Walsh at the top of my feed? I don't follow this person, but it says, Trump's shooter is seen in this BlackRock commercial at 4 seconds in.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics.
What is possibly the connection they're trying to draw? What is possibly the connection? What's up, Hayden? What connection are they trying to draw here? He's in a BlackRock commercial for 1 second. Therefore, this was set up by the deep state.
Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
Oh, that's him. It's over. It was staged. This is proof. Oh, they're saying he's an actor. It seems like these are just his students, right? They're saying he's a crisis actor. Has the image that keeps getting shared of Trump with the fist and flag been altered a bit? I know there was a flag there, but I don't recall seeing it flying that wide in the image. So there's a few different images. Like, a bunch of different journalists took different pictures. There's one image where the flag gets cut off, but there is an image where you can see the full flag. But I will warn you guys, there have been edited versions of that picture going around. There was a really weird version where everyone in the picture is smiling. Did you guys see that one where everyone in the picture is grinning really hard? And some liberal on Twitter shared it and was like, why is Trump so happy after this? And it was just straight disinformation. Straight disinformation. Biden speaking any second. Biden to speak any second now. Secret Service faces serious questions about security footprint and rooftop access at Trump event. You went to Yellow Flash's chat and people were screaming it was an inside job. I honestly think people on the left really got sucked into the conspiracies last night. Because there's someone I followed on Twitter who I thought was a rational person. I thought that, Cherry Jacobus. I followed her for a while. Don't really know much about her. Ex-GOP. That makes sense. Subscribe to the White House. Am I not subscribed to them? I should be. I probably unsubscribed during the Trump term. And, you know, I've been following her for a while, and I liked her tweets, but she's been, she tweeted right away. Let me find this. Man, she's tweeted a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that got sucked into conspiracy theories. It's wild to see them like pizza gators, essentially. Yep, it is absolutely wild. It's like a slow erosion of conspiracy theories. So, like, you go in, oh my, this has all happened. She's tweeted in the past 2 hours. Basically, yeah. Man, this dude should be live any minute. Join the subreddit. Join the subreddit. Where is Biden? Always a little bit late. Thank you, Jaden. Word of the day, whiz. It whizzed past my head. Anything else on Truth Social? Today we are all MAGA. I can't believe someone wrote that as a headline. Damn. Any minute, Biden. Any minute. Yeah, that's what I tweeted out. Who is we? Who the hell is we?
You fuck with Trump?
Oh no, guys. It's over. The election's over. Kid Rock is mad.
You fuck with me.
I'm trembling from watching this. I'm trembling.
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me.
I don't know. Like, why do you keep saying refresh the page? The Orange Pill Nurse, thank you for the dono. MAGA is already trying to use Biden's words, the bullseye comment. Yeah, that one blew my mind. And the bill that Dems proposed about taking away Secret Service of presidents. Yep, they're already drawing these. Shit, well, if Kid Rock said it, oh, we're screwed. If Kid Rock said it, thank you for that dono, though. Here we go. Here we go. The spin machine is already started. Citing his recent comments, Republicans blame Joe Biden for Donald Trump's rally shooting. A number of Republicans are pointing fingers at President Joe Biden after the bullseye. Sorry, I need to watch this one more time. It's really funny.
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me. You fuck.
Okay, sorry, that's it. I just need to send this text too. A number of Republicans are pointing fingers at President Joe Biden after the shooting of former President Donald Trump at a political rally on Saturday, with some citing Biden's recent statement that it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I've spent the past 3 years of my life arguing with Republicans about whether or not Donald Trump's rhetoric led to January 6th. They can never understand it. They can never understand how Donald Trump's rhetoric, him saying that every single institution is being stolen, we need to take our country back, Mike Pence isn't doing what needs to be done, we're going to lose our country and not have a country anymore. And then he holds a rally at the Ellipse, and then they walk over to the Capitol. The fact that they can't connect those dots, but they can immediately cherry pick one sentence from Biden tells me that these people are bad faith actors. They are so incredibly disingenuous that they act like they can't connect the dots when political violence is egged on by their side. But when political violence happens that we all condemn, we don't like, they immediately try to connect these lines. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Do we really think Joe Biden was calling for an assassination attempt? If he was, how come no one called this out in the moment? Kid Pebble, good one. Also, Biden speaking any minute. Biden speaking any minute. Stand back and stand by for Biden speaking any minute. Oh, did I say Trump speaking? I thought I might have said Biden speaking. Republicans pounced on Biden's remarks. Okay, so this is what Biden said. We can't waste any more time being distracted, Biden said, pointing out that the election was just 4 months away. Something bum in chat keeps going, you know nothing. He just keeps saying, is this you? In my chat? Literally, why do you keep saying, you know nothing? Game of Thrones fans will like this reference. People who don't watch Game of Thrones will be confused, but let's keep reading. Happy Valley Farms, thank you. Biden has immunity according to the Supreme Court. Yep, that's where my mind went as well. Thank you for the dono. Karen Diggs, Retro, said, your live broadcasts are the best on all of YouTube, Adam. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys are here with me. I like building a community. Yeah, gotta have a troll or two around. We can't waste any more time being distracted, Biden said. Wait, hold up. Check out press conference. Nothing? Okay. I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump, Biden said. We're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in the bullseye. He's gotten away with doing nothing for the last 10 days except ride around in his golf cart bragging about scores he didn't score. The fact is, he's not answering questions. Oh, no, sorry. He didn't score, yeah. Republicans pounced on Biden's remarks after the shooting. Even though there's no evidence tying those comments to the attack on Trump or the shooter's motivation. Keep in mind, we don't know anything about the shooter's motivation. We know nothing. Still, Mike Collins shared a part of the Biden quote on X, claiming without evidence that Joe Biden sent the orders. Biden speaking any minute. Sorry, I've been saying that for like 10 minutes. But Biden speaking any minute, any second. Literally, any minute now. TikTok, Biden. Also, article from CNN. Secret Service faces... What's up, Pondering Politics? How you doing, Josiah? If you ever want to hop on stream, just text me. I don't always see it right away. But yeah, if you ever want to chat, we're waiting for Biden to speak, so just hit me up. What's up, Will? Glad you're here. Yeah, shout out to Pondering Politics, friend of the stream. And yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm just still trying to figure out how this affects the election, how this affects Donald Trump's electoral chances. I still feel like this is going to help rally Republicans. And yeah, I'm just struggling to wrap my head around it, you know? It's wild to me. It just feels like it's not even... Yeah. Neverman, no taking advantage, homie. Yeah, Neverman was fighting with people the other day. I just modded him because I didn't, yeah. Is it just me or does this guy seem to know nothing? Apple Bonsai Club, drop your favorite Trump policy in chat. And that's like the litmus test. It's such an easy question. Whenever there's a MAGA supporter riling shit up, just be like, yo, what's your favorite Trump policy? It's like a gotcha question for them. It's literally, it should be such, if you're worshiping a presidential candidate, you should be able to name at least one of their policies, but it's literally like a gotcha question. Oh, Biden speaking any minute. Let's go back and read some more threads. They don't possess the numbers to win, Adam. Well, it depends on how turnout is. Right now, the whole election just comes down to turnout. Yeah, he's gonna Google. He's Googling really quickly. I asked someone earlier, and they just put the words, build the wall. Come on. Come on. They worship the man, not the policies. Very true. And that's the exact point. That's the exact point. I'm going to say it again. Guys, Biden's going to speak any minute now. Any minute. We're going to be sitting here at like 6 o'clock tonight, all really tired, not having eaten all day. Like any minute, guys. Biden should walk out any minute. Did you guys see that Eminem called out Candace Owens? I'll bet. Josiah, join that. And then you can, we'll mod you and you can join the I modded you, Josiah. You should be able to join the admin chat. Or the... Yeah, let me know if you can join that admin chat that I'm in. Pondering Politics, everyone, while we're waiting for Biden to speak. Or whatever voice chat you're able to join. Or let me go into the mod chat, actually. Mod chat. Yeah, again, join the Adam Mockler subreddit. Any minute, guys. Any minute. Oh, okay, there we go.
What up, playa?
What's up? Can you guys hear him stream? I'm a streamer now,
Can you
homie.
hear me, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh shit. My mic was muted. What's up?
Oh man, you got that dog in you?
I do. How you feeling?
Oh, buddy, I'm tired. I'm stressed.
Did you sleep last night?
Oh hell no. I mean, this is funny. I was at a I can't remember if I told you this when we texted, but I was literally on my way to a concert, to a good boomer concert of an 80s, two 80s rock band, Styx and Foreigner, and I was with a buddy, and then my phone kept blowing up, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I basically like just spent most of my time drinking at the bar in the VIP lounge near the concert, and then I saw like half the set of the first band, and then I just told my buddy, I'm like, dude, I like this is like a game changer for politics in the world and the election, so I'm gonna peace and you just enjoy the show. So I went home and yeah.
I had to turn you up. They couldn't hear
on
you.
the
But,
internet.
yeah, dude, I was also freaking out in the not okay, I didn't freak out, but I was working and I got the notification from Asen on Twitter. It's like shots ring out at Trump rally. And immediately I was like, this is not good. This is bad. And then one of my friends, my phone was blowing up. One of my friends texted me, "Oh my God, there's blood on his face." I immediately, right when that was sent, I started like gathering clips and recording so I could be on rapid response. And I was just having trouble. There was like a good 3 minutes there where I didn't know if Trump was alive. I was sitting there and I was actually like, my heart was racing because it was the in between the shots being running out and people saying there's blood on his face. I was like, is it his neck? Is it, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was scary. And I just, you can't exactly predict the electoral consequences, but my instincts are telling me something. My instincts are telling me this is good for Trump. Is that fair?
I mean, I don't think it's, I can't, I have no reason to believe that it would be bad for Trump, right? I just don't know to what extent it will be good for him and for how long.
Yep.
I mean, I covered this in a video I did earlier today. I think that, number one, this election was already an historic situation prior to the events of yesterday. You know, an incumbent president, a former president, a rematch between them, social media being what it is, how polarized we are. Like, people want to talk about what happened with President Reagan, but President Reagan had already won the election. He was freshly incumbent or freshly inaugurated. He was already popular. He had an approval rating above 50%. Trump never cracked that. Reagan was pretty well liked in terms of like his charisma and affability. Like you know, he was nowhere near as disliked as Trump was, and there was no social media, and we weren't polarized as we are today. So, and even with the Reagan thing, like he got like 10 points, I think, worth of like additional groundswell.
And he didn't get an awesome photo. Sorry to say it, but the photo was cool. I hate Trump, but it's a decent photo. It's
100%. It's a photogenic moment, right? It's a genuinely cinematic moment that Trump will absolutely exploit. And so to your point, right? Like, that may help him. That may actually maximize the reach because of social media and the proliferation of that particular photo. But I suppose what I mean to say is, even with Reagan, the groundswell went on for like a matter of weeks or just like 2 months, and then it collapsed again because the economy was still pretty poor. I don't know what it means for Trump. I'm not as doomer as I was in the immediate aftermath because he is still an enormously unliked person, and and in terms of like harnessing his base, they were already going to turn up for him anyway. Like I even like people having the hopes that like Nikki Haley voters would not turn up to vote for him. I never really bought that because Republicans, when push come to shove,
they
generally
fall
speaking,
in line.
Right, 100%. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about him going from like 98% of the Republican voter base to 99. The question is, can we get people out for Biden? If you take the anti-Trump coalition versus the Trump coalition, even after this, we still win.
I was going to say that. The largest coalition in America, sorry to cut you off, is the anti-Biden coalition, so it comes down to turnout.
You mean the anti-Trump?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I meant anti-Trump, sorry.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But apparently it's our fault that this happened, so that's new to us. I didn't realize that. Apparently we're always calling for violence on our shows. I know you do all the time, but you're always calling. Go get that guy. No, you don't actually say that shit.
No, so like it was funny. I know. I mean, I've been hit with it by people in the comments section and stuff like that on Twitter, especially. Have you been hit with it?
Oh yeah, I got an email yesterday saying, "How do you feel now that your paychecks caused an innocent man to almost die?" I said, "Great. I feel great." No. I didn't respond. I was like, why? Yeah.
Oh, that's curious. I need to be checking my emails now. I'm curious to see what happened. But yeah, like, no, listen. I don't know where you are in your channel, but I'll tell you what I said on mine, which is there's going to be, number one, political violence is unacceptable. I know some people think it should go without saying, and I certainly don't begin and end every video of mine with that disclaimer. Perhaps I will for the foreseeable future, just in case. But yes, political violence is unacceptable. Political violence against Democrats, political violence against Republicans, political violence against Donald Trump. We have an election in 4 months that Trump has not won yet and may not win yet, even after today. We beat him at the ballot box. And there's also the criminal justice system as well for Trump's actual crimes. We're part of an advanced democratic republic. We forfeit the right for vigilantism. having said all that, I also said in the video, kind of like recapping it this morning, which is people are going to try to gaslight those of us in the anti-Trump coalition to say you're responsible for this if you think and have said that Trump is an authoritarian and a threat to democracy. I reject that, and so should everyone watching. If you believe that Trump is an authoritarian and a threat to democracy, in my opinion, you're correct. And I feel exactly the same way about Trump today as I did yesterday, as I did the day before.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't require you to call or support violence against Trump. These things are not like they're not incompatible ideas. That Trump is an authoritarian and a threat to democracy, and we beat him at the ballot box and not with political violence.
Exactly. Someone like Matt Walsh made that point. By the way, Josiah's channel, Pondering Politics, I just linked it in chat. Someone in chat said, I like this guy a lot. Hey, he's mine. Stay away. No, but here's his channel.
Say, he might be talking about you, Adam.
No,
they might be like, you know what? I like this Mockler. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, but no, they were talking about you. Bro, have you talked to Luke since then?
Yeah, I talked to him a few times yesterday, and I haven't this morning. Yeah, he was there, and he put out like a really, really good reaction video, which everyone should watch as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I texted him too, yeah, but no, that was wild. I mean, there's a very high chance. I was thinking about going to that one. I was thinking about going to that one.
You too. I mean, here's the thing. This is, I when I do like on the ground stuff, it's just door knocking and canvassing and stuff like that. I usually don't have a camera with me, mostly because I think it's a pain in the ass to have a mobile setup.
Yeah.
I need to probably get one. Because if anything, I'm more galvanized electorally than I was the day before. Like you said, this is not going to hurt Trump electorally.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, to what extent will it be a political benefit to him? And so, as I told you last night, and I told Luke this, and Jack Pacharella and others as well, it's like, don't despair. We still have a chance to win this election. You all have prominent, loud voices, influential voices, platforms. Not to speak immodestly, I feel like I do too. And so, like, what the importance is for us to use it to the best of our ability. With you and Luke in particular, though, given that you both go to these rallies, I know you all are careful. You should be more careful.
Oh, yeah. I think we're taking a little break. At least me. I'm taking a little break from this. Even, like, the last two rallies have gotten really spicy. I think, like, the last two ones were Mike Lindell, who freaked the hell out of me, and then Brian Glenn, who also freaked the hell out of me.
Is that Marge's boyfriend?
Yeah, Marjorie's boyfriend, and Forgiato Blow. But yeah, I think taking a break is probably the best bet, because like even the RNC this week is really close to me. I was supposed to do some coverage of the RNC, but it's like, do I really want to go there in the most politically volatile time and be openly liberal, like arguing for liberal positions? I will get assassinated. No, sorry if that's too soon, but I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, I mean, like you should definitely be vigilant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely. In my sleep-deprived, fogged brain, I'm definitely thinking about like what can be done with those of us both like in a boots on the ground sort of way in terms of canvassing and door knocking, and also in terms of using our platforms to try to excite people and get out the base and provide a degree of hope. And I say that as like a staunch cynic, right? Yeah. I'm not one of those people who believes that we will win the election. I just know objectively we have a chance.
It's possible.
Yeah, and I think that the stakes are just too high to totally concede to it. So now the question is, what do we do with what we have?
Yeah, and yeah, it's really messed up. I was honestly having trouble wrapping my head around it, and it's like Trump got his moment in history that he wanted, and like, dude, for someone who's so stupid, who's objectively so dumb, the political instincts to in that moment raise your fist up. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like all my friends back in Indiana, I'm sure you're experiencing this too because you're in a red state. Yeah. All my friends in Indiana, like I was open Snapchat 8 stories in a row of like my hero. Yikes.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, he has this like, yeah, I agree. He is stupid in so many ways, but he has this lizard brain when it comes to attention. I don't even know if I want to call it PR. Trump has a lizard brain's instinct towards maximizing attention on him.
Oh yeah.
In ways that are just sheer reflex. Like I can't imagine the pain he was in, right? I mean, my God, I get flicked in the ear, and I'm a quarter of his age, and I want to cry. Actually, getting shot in it or getting grazed with the shrapnel because I don't think the projectile's been confirmed yet. But for it just instant instinct, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's formidable.
Yeah,
that's formidable.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this changes polling, if it does. I mean, I'm sure there's not going to be a dramatic shift, but were a lot of people in your comments also saying this was staged, this was fake? Because I did a 2-hour live stream yesterday. We spent almost the entire time me arguing with them. I was like, guys, why are you stooping to the level of QAnon? You guys are being Blueanon right now. Someone was saying that they had fake blood capsules in Trump's ear. I was like, it happened 30 minutes ago. Why the hell are you telling me this? Like, you're just making shit up.
Yeah, so I've seen those, but quite frankly, I've ignored them just because I don't have the energy for it. And like, you know what's funny is sometimes I feel like there's some things that are not worth validating with your attention.
Yeah.
I struggle with that when it comes to responding to people. I love to spar with people just like you. But sometimes I always wonder, like, am I doing more harm by just giving this person my attention? Or, you know, because this is like the constant struggle with Trump and MAGA. Like in 2016, Trump was given unfettered attention. He was oversaturated. Yeah. And in hindsight, we were like, well, that was the wrong thing to do, right? To just treat him like a spectacle and not critically fact check him and engage in robust journalism, you know, CNN and all these other things. Then after he lost the 2020 election, he was kicked off social media. Then the instinct was just don't talk about it.
Yep.
Like don't show his speeches and whatever. And then we found like, well, he was able to game that one too because it almost allowed. I don't think we factored in the short-term memory of the American people, and it is a very fickle short-term thing, as you know.
They forgot how extreme he is, and then when we hide his speeches, we don't cover it. He can say stuff like they're poisoning the blood of our country or. Just all this apocalyptic rhetoric.
Well, it's also crazy too. Like, it is really frustrating, but it's also I find myself like, and maybe you have a better memory than me, but I find myself struggling. Like there are times that Trump does something, or I'm reminded of something awful that Trump did, and I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot.
Literally.
Yeah.
I said this in my chat the other day, and Adam Kinzinger made this point to me. He said that the authoritarian playbook is you throw as much stuff at the wall as you can, so you just overwhelm your opponent with disinformation. And like the other day, I was making a list of all the terrible shit Trump's done, and after the whole list, I realized I completely forgot that he posted about terminating the rules, laws, and regulations of the Constitution. Whatever he said, I was like, how did I forget that a former president? How like he just throws. Also, what's up, Wick?
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny about that too is, again, since we mentioned Luke, he had this great viral moment with Vivek Ramaswamy, where Vivek forgot about that too. I don't know if you saw it, and he was like, Donald Trump never said anything like that, and Luke just rattled it all off verbatim, had the whole freaking tweet memorized, and yeah, that's insane. That in and of itself would have destroyed the political career of any pre-Trump Republican.
Oh yeah.
Now it's the wild, wild west, politically speaking. Somebody showed something today that I'd forgotten about. In 2016, dude, in 2016, I'll send you the clip. Maybe you forgot about this too, or maybe you remembered it. But Trump said something like, when he was campaigning against Secretary Clinton, he goes, you know, if she wins, she's going to take away your gun rights, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then she's like, I don't know. And then he goes, I don't know, maybe you Second Amendment people can do something about it. Like, pretty clearly signaling.
Yep.
That they should engage in violence, but like there's no way to remember all this shit.
It's so
much.
No way. We need a mega doc, something really concise, a mega doc that's sourced, and we do that on my stream. We've been doing a lot of research stuff, the Destiny model of like researching.
Yeah, Obsidian.
Yeah, I love that. I'm literally just like ripping his model and I just like research like that, but it's fun. And I've learned a lot about Project 2025, like the actual nitty gritty. Did you see Destiny?
Project 2025?
Yeah, Trump's Project 2025 that the Heritage Foundation and him are working hand in hand. There's like an 80% overlap between the people who wrote it and the people that were in the Trump administration. But
140 members, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what it was.
Trump administration. Yeah.
Wow.
140 members that are part of and have co-authored and participated in the literal construction of Project 2025.
Also, Donald Trump enacted 64% of the Heritage Foundation's policy proposals during his first year in office. And even though they were like cookie cutter proposals, the Heritage Foundation has been crafting the policy for every Republican since Reagan. And even like Marco Rubio has said it. I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz has said it. There's clips of all of them like saying that. Yeah.
Well, and what's funny is somebody, I'll send this to you, that way you have it for your notes in case you don't have it already. Somebody did like this like cross-examination of, you know, because now you hear this cope. Trump's agenda isn't Project 2025, it's Agenda 47. But it's like a line by line, like it's the same major policy provisions.
Oh, yo,
they're
Biden.
virtually identical.
Sorry to cut you off. Biden just walked out. You could stay in here too.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Yep. I'll listen.
Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired.
This is good.
And he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight of the fact who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job.
This is really good.
I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation. We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are. And so may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, when you spoke to President Trump yesterday, what did...
No questions?
Mr. President, shifting our campaign strategy, Mr.
You know they're going to clip him walking off like that.
Yeah, it makes sense that he's not that they're not going to take any questions about that. He said he's going to speak about it at greater length from the Oval Office, probably have more prepared marks. Him walking out with his hands like Emperor Palpatine probably didn't help. But, I mean, at this point, you know, people are going to read into every single, you know, micro expression and posture from the president. And quite frankly, though, actually at this point, given all of what's going on, there may not be nearly as much attention on Biden because, you know what I'm saying, and that sort of thing.
I thought the substance of his speech was really good, really presidential, and just... he was kind of walking a tightrope because if he said the wrong thing, and I'm sure it's still going to happen, it's like a fucking Laura Loomer is going to like clip it up and be like, oh, Biden just doubled down on the blah, blah, blah. But Biden very carefully walked the tightrope, said, we condemn political violence. We do not want this to happen. Yeah, I feel like he handled it really well. And he even, I like how he highlighted that the Trump supporter who died was an American, was a father who protected his family. I think that was really important because... MAGA thinks that we don't care. MAGA thinks that like none of us care. But I thought it was really sad. Did you watch Shapiro speak about it? It was actually really sad.
Yeah, Governor Shapiro did the same thing. Yeah. Listen, no, I agree that both the substance and even the delivery, Biden took on a somber tone, and no, I think it was very well put. And I also don't know if we'll ever find out the contents of his conversation with Trump.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. I think Trump said, because this is usually tradition, I don't know if Trump did it for Biden, but outgoing presidents will leave a note for their successor in the Resolute desk.
I doubt Trump did that.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just like the drawing of the middle finger, something like that. But,
piece of shit on the desk, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He defecated on the Resolute desk. But Obama did it for Trump. And I don't think Trump ever specifically revealed what the contents were, but he did say it was like a really nice and kind letter and stuff like that. So I imagine whatever Biden thinks of Trump, I'm sure he still thinks of him as an authoritarian threat to democracy. I doubt any of that came up, and I imagine it was like a really
chill phone call.
It was a really kind,
yeah.
Statesman.
Trump is like, I miss you, man. Why do we have to hate each other? Why do we have to fight so much? Nah, but like, I feel like Biden probably called him man. He's like, I hope you're all good, man. And then I bet Trump was a little bit like condescending. He's like, I'm good, Joe. I feel like he used the word Joe. I can just hear them saying these words in my mind, but I'm just speculating. Who knows what was said on the phone call? We probably will never know, like you said.
Yeah. No, it's crazy stuff. I'm just saying to your audience, guys, don't lose heart. This election is still winnable. It's still very important. 4 months away. We got to get out the vote. We got to galvanize.
Yep.
Beyond all this, what's been your focus? You said researching Project 2025?
Yeah, that's been big lately. We've been doing Project 2025 live streams, and I pull up Obsidian, we talk about it, we go in depth, we read it, we find the sources. Like, I sort of understood the Schedule F executive order. You're aware of the Trump Schedule F executive order. I'd say I had an understanding of it, but actually reading the document and then going and reading the executive order, that's different. Actually going to like the sources and reading through it, a college student discovers research for the first time or whatever. But it really does feel like going to the primary sources, because everybody is talking about Project 2025, but I'd say 99.9% of people talking about it haven't read like a word of the document. So I think the onus is on us. The responsibility is on us to go and do the research. But sorry to sidetrack, but the Tour to Save Democracy that I was going on, we did the first event on Friday.
Was it you and Maya and Micah and
exactly, and we did it in San Antonio, Texas. And my flight for the next morning was 5 a.m., so I just decided not to even sleep. Like, we kind of just teed up. Yeah, we kind of just chilled. So I went to the airport. I fly home. I get home in Indiana. I'm chilling by like 10. And then the shooting, I stayed up and recorded all day. And then the shooting happens as I'm winding down for the day. And I did like a 3-hour live stream with 0 sleep, basically fresh off the plane a few hours back. And since then, I'm just running on barely any sleep. Yeah, people in chat said he hasn't slept in months. That was just a side rant about the past few days, though. Wild stuff.
No, yeah, I bet. I bet. Like, the thing about Project 2025, I think these deep dives are necessary and illustrative. I think there has to be like a dual-pronged approach from us collectively, where the long-form content going into the nitty-gritty, that's essential for those who are kind of like nerds about this and should be, like, they want to know the nitty-gritty. And then I think we also have to like pre-package like the bite-sized stuff too, to like accommodate other people's attention spans. Like, you got to give them, you got to do what you're doing, the deep dive, which I have not done. I've read, it's like a 900 and something page document. I read, I think, the first 30, and then I control F'd my way, like keywords and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to do the dual prong approach. I think the scholarly, going over every word, the way that Destiny did with the Supreme Court decisions and stuff like that, I think that's really instructive. And then, maybe like a 10-minute video about here's like one major provision about Project 2025, the Schedule F, that Donald Trump created this executive order to reclassify 50,000 federal employees, and it was never put into effect. And then President Biden rescinded that executive order when he was inaugurated. But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, like trying to weave together the tapestry of not just what the Trump administration did before, also what he's explicitly promised in tweets and in public appearances, then Project 2025, and then in the context of this recent Supreme Court immunity decision, which I think just completely removes a really crucial deterrence for a rogue president, the threat of criminal prosecution. I mean, for all intents and purposes, a rogue president, it would be virtually impossible to prosecute them after they leave office. And if you've already got those other aspects like Project 2025 and these radical reshuffling of the federal government, that just makes the situation more fraught.
And that's what I was saying to you the other day. The Supreme Court ruling essentially laid the groundwork for Project 2025, because in Project 2025, they talk about unitary executive theory. And it's like, we already talked about this. It's the idea that the president has complete control over the executive branch. There should be no checks from Congress, no checks from the Supreme Court. And Justice Roberts said that in as many, like a few less words. I don't know, a few more words. But like, basically, it reinforces that idea. And it's, it's terrifying.
And so what's funny is about unitary executive theory, like which you're in college right now, right?
I'm taking a break until the election, but I was in college 2 months ago, so yeah.
Gotcha. And was political science your major?
For the first year, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you ever go back and you have an opportunity to take some of these classes, they may actually go really in depth on unitary executive theory, because it predates Trump. It even predates Reagan. I mean, Reagan was really the one who brought it into the zeitgeist, and then George H.W. Bush and Bill Barr, when he was President George H.W. Bush's father, he was his attorney general, and he was also a big proponent too. There are two types of unitary executive theory. You have strong unitary executive theory and weak unitary executive theory. And most people are one of the two. Like the idea, like even people who oppose what we call unitary executive theory, they understand that the president is the head of the executive branch, and he has large considerable power.
Yeah.
But weak unitary executive theory says, as kind of what you're hinting, that it's not absolute, that there are some critical checks. It could be, the FEC, for example, or some of these independent agencies that are also under the purview of Congress. It could be making certain critical positions not dischargeable by the president without cause. So Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he technically reports to the president, but he can't be fired by the president except for cause. So Biden couldn't say, you know what, Jerome, you look like a fucking dork, and I'm just going to fire you. He can't do that. There's got to be cause. And then unitary executive theory, like in Project 2025, they're nah, screw that. Congress can't check anything. There are no special counsels that the president can't directly fire. The president should be able to dictate policy to the Federal Reserve. I order you to raise interest rates or to lower interest rates, or I demand that you prosecute this person, DOJ,
or you choose this slate of electoral votes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it is. It's crazy stuff. And yeah, I mean, and what's interesting too is if you look at the history of the United States, and the founding, so much of this was predicated on good faith. This is something I complain about a lot on my channel, which is the systems that we have really weren't designed to deal with somebody like a Donald Trump, because even President Washington in his farewell address, he warned against parties and factions, but there's also a line, a segment, you should check it out if you haven't. He basically does everything but give Trump's social security number, describes him to a T. He's cunning men of no principle who use factionalism to rise to power, and then once in power, they erode the systems which got them to power in the first place, blah, blah, blah. And the idea was this system is predicated on statesmen. Washington's a great example. I mean, there was so much deference given to him when he became president. There wasn't the 22nd Amendment, which limited him to 2 terms. He could have been president for the rest of his life.
Yep.
He would have won again and again and again. And that's where it's so hard to control, is what do you do when you have not just a man but a party that doesn't believe in that sort of good faith, that they'll exploit loopholes in the system to bend institutions to their will.
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
It's terrifying. Did you see Destiny go on Wick stream, or did you obviously read his tweets probably, right? we went over all of them on stream, and everyone in my chat was freaking out. Half of my chat was like, "Based, let's go." The other half was like, "Chill. Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
he's wild.
Yeah, that's I was surprised.
Really? You know Destiny?
Yeah, I do.
But you thought he was gonna have a more measured take because he's like matured, maybe a little bit.
Well, no, I thought it was possible that he'd be, I don't know, if, as the kids say, wild and out or whatever. Like, I thought that was possible. But then when I woke up this morning, he was still at it. I'm like, oh, okay.
He's going.
Yeah. I mean, look, truth be told, I mean, obviously there was substrates there that I strongly agreed with, which is, as you know, I categorically reject the asymmetry that's imposed on us on the left, liberals and progressives and Democrats. And Wick, you know, I like Wick, but this is a long-standing disagreement between us. I don't want to misrepresent him, but I think he thinks it's more important to us to basically police our own. And my opinion is I disagree unless we are more of a problem. And if we're not, then, yeah, I'm not saying that we don't criticize our own, but we need to keep our eyes on the bigger challenge. And I also disagree with Wick that that Trump, you know, lost the 2020 election because Biden was seen as more civil. I don't think that's the case too.
No.
But I would never articulate some of these things, these sympathies, which is I'm tired of liberals and the left and progressives being held to this asymmetry. Republicans should pick a standard. If we condemn political violence, which I think should be the standard, then it has to apply to everybody. That means when Paul Pelosi gets his head cracked in the skull, every fucking Republican immediately should give a public statement where they're like, in no uncertain terms, this was disgusting, this was awful, and you're a piece of shit if you support this. And if that's not going to be the standard, then I don't want to hear Republicans complain when you have people on Twitter, and it is people on Twitter, it's not sitting Democrats, it's not the President of the United States.
Just randos, yeah.
Just randos mocking Donald Trump, right? Like, we have to have one consistent standard for people, because otherwise, not only is it irrational and stupid and dishonest, it also exacerbates the difficulty that we have as the Democratic coalition. We already have so many obstacles before us: the Electoral College, gerrymandering, a 6-3 conservative supermajority in the Supreme Court, 30 out of 50 state legislatures, which are controlled by Republicans, a wildly asymmetrical media environment. Pick a standard and stick with it. And unfortunately, Republicans violate that standard, I think, much more often than Democrats. And I think it's fair to point that out.
You guys call it the asymmetry of expectations, right?
Right.
Did you coin that?
We should. So Luke, I think it did originate with me, but it was in a conversation with Luke, and then Luke and I both use it. And what's interesting is, after the Biden debate, I don't know if you caught this, but a bunch of other people started to use that particular phrase a lot: asymmetry, asymmetry, asymmetry. There being essays written by Tom Hartman. MeidasTouch. You guys at the MeidasTouch have been really emphasizing it as well.
Oh yeah, we ripped that from you. I told them to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, but I mean, it's important though to really highlight that that we have to use what influence we have, in my opinion, to reshape the expectation. It is whatever should be expected of Biden must also be expected of Trump. They're both presidents, or they both have been president. They both want to be president again. There's no reason to hold one to a different standard than the other. Same thing for Republicans versus Democrats. And did you interview Don Lemon?
I went on his show. Luke interviewed Don Lemon. I went on his show,
Right.
so he made his rounds in the digital media space for sure.
And I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him on this or about this. I did when I interviewed him. He copped to it. He said, listen, at legacy media, when I was at CNN, there was that asymmetry. We didn't want to be tarred and feathered as liberal media. So if we complained about a Republican, we had to find something to complain about. It's like, nah, bro. No. Flat earthers and round earthers are not the same. One deserves respect, the other one doesn't, and it's dishonest and stupid to do anything else. So getting back to the Destiny thing, I share some of his frustrations. I just think it's I think it's a little unhinged.
A little too much. I mean, it's kind of fun though. Someone has to do it. Someone has to be out there. But also, it's kind of good cannon fodder for the right, because I saw some screenshot from a conservative. It had like 20K likes. It was like, this is the average liberal. And it was like Destiny's most unhinged tweet. And I was like, fuck, we're so cooked. But no, he's mostly right, other than the idea that the father deserved it. He said something to that effect, like, I don't think that person who died should deserve, obviously. I feel like if pushed on it, like if you sat him down off camera, he might admit that too, right?
I mean, I expect, you know, because I haven't talked to him, and I think he's streaming later today, so we might see, you know, he's also got a dark sense of humor and an edgy sense of humor, so I don't know to what extent these things are like Bill Burr-esque, you know, tongue-in-cheek comments. But I do think that there is this genuine sentiment where he's just like, this is a situation that Republicans helped create with the glorification of violence and the attempt to put Donald Trump above everything. That it's just the hypocrisy staggers him, and I understand that.
All right, well, I'm going to link your channel, and I'm going to link Pondering Politics a bunch. I'm going to shut down the stream for a bit. I got to go eat lunch. I had like half a banana, and I've been streaming for 3 hours ever since. But like, yo, if you want to chat later, I think I'll be live again later. No reason not to me. If you're busy, it's all good. But yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, and appreciate you. Appreciate everything. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and maybe even get some rest.
You too, man. Thank you. This is Josiah from Pondering Politics. Check him out in the description. Check him out in the chat right now. Peace out, homie.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Love that, man. All right, but I am gonna end the stream. I am going to go eat and go like just chill for a bit. I really didn't sleep, but if I go live later, will you guys be here? If I go live in a couple hours after I eat and chill, you guys will be here. Let me know in the chat, and then I can go live. Eat, sleep, chill for a bit. Yeah, if you guys are gonna be here later, then we'll be back. Hell yeah. I'll try to live stream later. Also, I haven't slept, so no promises, but I'll be back. Peace out, y'all.